Marvelous chaps with the marvelous chap. Gentlemen.
Oh, hey!
Good
afternoon.
Oh, it's Finto. Hey,
Hold on, buddy.
What's up,
It's
guys? Yo, 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 what's up?
Hey guys,
What's
we're
up,
talking
everybody in
about.
That has to be
What's
the
happening,
most
buddy?
insane start to a fucking stream ever. Like, that is
That was
just...
a monster.
He's a fucking monster, dude. He is
Yeah.
insane in the membrane. Like,
big boy.
Insane, got no brain.
Whew.
X gonna give it to you, bro.
X gonna give it to you, 100%.
25 times.
What do we think of that that Deadpool and Krog thing?
Bro, I didn't realize it for a minute, because we were talking. I had muted. I didn't realize for a minute, and then I unmuted for a second. And I was like, "Wait, Deadpool and him and Krog are reacting to the trailer." I
exactly,
love that.
and it's the two of
fun.
them. It's the two of them who are in that movie as well, which just makes it even better. 'Cause,
4
like,
out of 5 avocados. Okay.
yeah, it's marketing genius. Fucking Ryan Reynolds proves again that he is a marketing genius.
Well, that's what I was telling
Oh,
Drnkie. I was like, that's got me more hyped for Deadpool than it does for Fall Guy, kind of.
A lot of
That
people
movie's
like
gonna be so bad, bro. There's no way that's good, right?
I think that movie's going to be pretty bad, yeah. But I think at the same time, a lot of people are going to want to watch that movie now. Like, there's a lot of MCU heads that are kind of like, oh my god, they're just
Well,
going to
I think
watch
that
that now
movie's-
because of it.
That movie's gonna slap for the younger generation, bro.
I think
Imagine
so.
Of
being
course.
imagine
Yeah.
being a kid that watches Ninja every day, and then going and getting popcorn and making it a big like family movie. Because like when you're a kid, you don't get to decide when you go to the movies, right? Like your parents say, "Hey, we're going to the movies," so it's like all out of your control. And then going there and then seeing like your favorite. I know there's a bunch of content creators in there, so whoever your favorite content creator is, seeing them on the big screen like that, that's hype.
Oh, bro. Like, could you imagine? Because like,
100%.
that's like a movie of like GTA, where you're like going around playing GTA and shit or whatever.
It's like Truman Show meets GTA. That's how
Yeah.
I was explaining it to Michelle.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like if I was like 14 right now, trying to watch that shit, like I'd be like really excited for it, like But like I love Ryan Reynolds, so I'll definitely watch it. And
Yeah, you slap Ryan Reynolds in almost anything, and it'll work.
and like
Hey,
Taika Waititi, like he's a
Alex,
legend. So
cheers. Cheers,
Oh,
Alex.
yeah. Cheers.
Excuse us.
Oh.
No, you gotta tap the can.
I gotta-
Tap
I'm
the
drinking
can.
G- I'm
To the
drinking
camera.
G Fuel. I got some G Fuel.
Over his head.
You guys are addicts.
Yeah, I know.
Did you
I,
get a haircut?
I did, bro. I got scalped
Yeah.
outside.
God.
Hang on 1 second.
Get
hang
up,
on.
Cal?
Oh, bro, is the back cut too? Yeah, that's what I like it.
Oh, okay. Yo, the movies are back, baby. I just gotta get those haircuts.
Fresh fades, baby. And I got the Brio on, and I haven't seen a green flash yet. I think we're looking fucking crazy.
Yo, don't. Yeah, you know what it was? We were watching Loki, and it just coincides, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
so.
I just said his barber came. You should cut your hair right there.
She
We're
like
in the
see
position of-
behind me, like they're like literally right here.
Oh, that would be
Just right there.
dude. That would make you seem so bougie and famous. Do it, bro. Just like you're casually talking while your barber's
Yeah, we
doing
gotta
it.
stream this.
I should have done a
Yeah.
fucking podcast for her. What the fuck was I thinking?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
get her on next
Oh, that
Friday.
would've
Just
been
have her
smart.
cutting your hair on Friday.
Yeah, I
Get
think so.
extensions. Get extensions put in, and then get the extensions cut.
There you go.
Hell
Tell us
yeah,
up.
dude.
Yeah.
Yo, James,
There's
thank you so much
workarounds.
for the resub, dude. 6 months, you're an absolute legend,
Well.
guys. I thought, yeah. Do we just go straight into it? Are we going
Yeah,
balls
I think
deep here?
we gotta. Oh wait,
go,
should we
baby.
catch up? Wait, we could catch up with Black Widow because I know Drnkie was away from us for the Black Widow discussion, and a lot more people have
Oh my
seen
god,
it.
this fucking movie. You guys have
All right.
seen it a couple more times. Your opinion hasn't changed on it. You guys are still like, solidly a 7.
So I saw the movie in the theater, 4K. The sound, like my ears were nearly bleeding. It was perfect. Like I thought the movie was great.
I
I
love the way
really,
Irish people describe stuff. Like all
My
the-
ears were nearly
My
bleeding.
ears were fucking bleeding.
There was not one fucking kick that was checked. Not one.
My asshole was fucking rumbling from the fucking sound.
yeah, bro. That's what it's all about, man. You wanna feel that shit in 5K. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I really enjoyed the movie. I'll stand on the stance that it's like a mid-tier MCU movie. Like I'd put it in somewhere around the top 10, 11, 12, somewhere like that. Like if say there's like 26 movies, I'd put it somewhere
Yeah.
around the halfway point. Like it was good, but it wasn't like amazing, if you get me. Like, it's not
Yeah.
not top tier. Like
I not only do I think this isn't top tier, I think it's not even middle tier. Now that I keep thinking about the movie, I really feel like it does a disservice to Black Widow and makes Black Widow seem less unique. She seems like just an average Black Widow, when like really she's supposed to be like the best of the best.
She's
and then
supposed
she
to be
really
the
just
top.
comes
Yes.
the top of the Black Widow program.
Yes.
She just kind of comes off as like, they're all kind of the same.
Which is
No big deal.
bullshit. Which is such bullshit.
I didn't actually think of it like that until I was just caught up in the hype of the theater. But now that you guys say that, that's like hitting. It's like, ouch.
Yeah,
No, like- They
know,
even
bro,
called like with their Bond, like they literally put a reference to Bond in the movie. They're like,
Yeah.
they're
She's
foreshadowing
sitting,
like this
she's
is going to be
sitting
a Bond
watching.
movie.
She's sitting watching Bond in the
Yeah,
trailer,
what-
and like I didn't notice that the
And it-
first time, but then after Drnkie told me that it's just basically a Bond movie, when I saw that the second time, I actually erupted laughing. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Oh my god!" There's so many
Full
Bond
stop.
references, and her mother in it is actually married to Daniel Craig in real life. I'm like, this is
Oh
just
my
getting
God.
it's getting out of control. Like, she's actually married to James Bond. Like, it's
Which,
hilarious.
her
dude.
mother, Rachel Weisz, I thought she was like wholly underutilized in that
Yeah.
film.
Like she was
100%.
she was almost bad. Like she was almost like
Yeah.
you felt like she was a bad actress, even though she's not a bad actress. She's a great actress.
She's
But her-
fantastic.
Fantastic, yeah.
And it's just like she just felt terrible in the movie. Yeah, like really
Yeah, and
underutilized.
I felt like the better story is right in front of them the whole time, and I don't know why they just don't reach out and grab it. Where she should have double crossed
Yeah,
our Black Widow and the family. She should have double crossed them in the end again. Because right now she's the ultimate villain. If you take it at its word, if you really watch it for what the story is and what's going on, and take it at its word, right? Like she is a monster, just like the evil
Heartless
villain dude.
AF.
Like she's the one who did this whole thing, who was like choking the pig, all this mind control stuff, this base, everything was built by her. And she engineers a process where the sky base is destroyed, the Black Widow program is destroyed, her boss is killed and gets out of the way, so now she can take it over, and she gets away scot-free without anyone knowing. Like she is the true villain of this thing, and I wish they would just recognize that.
They
She
literally-
could have like
Yes,
programmed
she should have been the
Taskmaster and had
ruthless one.
Taskmaster turn on her dad. Oh my god, it was right
Could
in
have,
front of
and
them.
they could have done all of that with like one like glancing look at the
Oh my
end too.
God.
They could have had one scene where she like squints her eyes like and does a little evil smile, and we all would have been like, "Oh,
Dude,
I think she
it's
should
just
have
Like,
been
even if she had
Taskmaster.
done shifty eyes.
She should have been
No,
Taskmaster.
no. Like I don't even like no. I don't want Taskmaster in here. It
Yeah,
was.
no,
it
he
didn't
shouldn't-
need to be.
He shouldn't have been in the movie at all. I
did.
say he shouldn't have been in the
And
movie.
like, and if they're gonna put Taskmaster in this movie, we put him in there for the reveal of the twist, like completely underutilized.
Yeah.
The way this thing should have gone is like Taskmaster should have been the first villain we get done with in the first 40 minutes. Then the Russian dude we deal with in the next 30 minutes, and then her mom we deal in the next 30 minutes. That should have been the progression of this movie, and it's like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Because the Taskmaster, not only do they fuck up his power set and fuck up what makes him cool as a villain in terms of how he does his stuff, like it's not
Yeah.
technology based. That's such a disservice to the comic book,
Yeah.
and it's so much cooler if
So
he's a
bad.
natural at it.
yeah.
But he talks that like he's a cocky villain. Like he talks that shit, man. He talks so much crap to everybody, and he is silent. This is like Ryan Reynolds level Deadpool in Wolverine,
Snake
where they,
Eyes.
like he doesn't talk
So
at
bad.
all.
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
just
it
doesn't
was like-
talk.
So bad, man.
Oh, my
I
God.
want like I don't like to be honest. I don't even care that they revealed that it's a female. Like it could have been a
Right.
female Taskmaster. It could have
Right.
like, and she could have been a cocky asshole, just like you said, and like shown all these different feats and whatnot. And like,
Yep.
I wanted that bridge scene to have some sort of dialogue, something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why are
And they
you
just-
here? I'm here to take what you've got, or something like I don't know, something.
Yeah, they just hold it back so they can give you this twist and this reveal. It's just like it's just terrible. Like the reveal is not worth it. Because it's super. Like once you realize that Rachel Weisz isn't Taskmaster, I knew immediately who it was. When we actually see that it's not her, I'm like, oh, it's the daughter. Like she's still
Yeah.
alive, and that's the daughter. Like the twist
Yeah.
is so it's there, it's in front of
obvious,
you.
yeah.
Like it's not. It's they just bury the stuff, and I didn't like that either. I thought that was dumb, man. Her killing the daughter.
Marvel have a thing of introducing like comic book characters to us, but doing it in a different way, and then just destroying it completely. Like look at Ben Kingsley as the first
Oh,
like
God.
Mandarin. Like it's like what have they done? You know, and like now at least we're getting that rectified. Like, do you think that they're gonna bring back? They're gonna do Taskmaster again in the future, but do it like maybe right the
100%.
next time. Someone else just takes
I
the
agree.
mantle, and then it's
Yeah,
like they do it right. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I
they've
think so.
already They've already unlocked the secrets of the multiverse. Like we got this. Like they whatever it is that they fucked
Retcon.
up. They can retcon it now.
Blame it on a variant and a scroll at the same time.
Exactly.
I don't
so
think
messy
that
right now.
they give up the mantle. I think she keeps the mantle, but I do think we see that Taskmaster again. I think we see her like in the Thunderbolts on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Possibly seeing her in Captain America for Falcon, because that's a pretty on par villain for Captain America and
Yeah.
those powers.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. I felt the movie was terrible. I don't like the how she killed the daughter. Like, isn't the whole thing about Black Widow is like clearing her ledger, and like she goes to try to be part of Shield by killing a child knowingly? Like, it made no sense to me.
It was ridiculous.
Hail Hydra.
And then at the very end of it all, like, and from the jump, this isn't the like. Not only is this movie too late, like you said, which I think rectifies on a rewatch.
Yeah.
It's not the movie we should have got. Like 100%, we should have gotten Hawkeye and Black Widow in Budapest, and like that should have been the movie we got, where they are on the mission of like for her to come over to Shield. Or they're fighting each other in Budapest, and they still get Taskmaster, and they got to work together to like beat Taskmaster, where they are like swapping their abilities and weapons to fight Taskmaster to throw him off. Like they could all like that's the movie we should have got. We should not have gotten this Black Widow movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so like how do we not have Hawkeye and Black Widow in Budapest after all this teasing?
Exactly.
We don't get it.
Why do we?
I
Why
bet
are
we
they
get
being
it.
carried on a stick to us? Why is this a carrot on a stick to us for like
I bet-
15 years now?
I bet we get it in his show.
You think so?
Yeah.
That maybe that's
I'm
the saving.
hoping.
Maybe that has to be the saving grace of his movie. Maybe that's
I-
why they withheld it.
I think what's going to happen is, there's going to be a big showdown between Yelena and Hawkeye in the Hawkeye show, and then he's going to go through the entire history, and we might get some Budapest flashbacks, but I don't think Scarlett Johansson's going to be in it. But I think, it'll just be implied or something. Like, you'll see it from his point of view, and that's all we're going to get, I think.
Zalvin, according to Zalvin, Hawkeye is the only actual Marvel Avenger. He's the only hero. He hates all of the MCU except for Hawkeye and the anti-heroes.
Can we
Yeah,
just
he,
get
like,
Hawkeye
he
in a
likes
mask,
he likes
please?
Deadpool, so we can talk.
Oh, that
we
would
can,
be sick.
we can talk about that.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, like I had that conversation with him last night. I was like, he's like, I don't like the MCU, and I was like, do you like DC? Is that what's happening? He's like, no, I don't like either. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Don't-
I was like,
don't-
yeah,
don't-
exactly.
don't
I had
come-
the same reaction.
don't
I
come to the
said, "Do you like
podcast.
He's like, no. And I was like, oh. I was like, what do you like? He's like, I don't know. And he named a couple I was like, oh, you like anti-heroes. And then he's like, Hawkeye's all right. Hawkeye's the only one that exists.
He's definitely a Punisher fan. I guarantee it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotta be.
I mean,
Let me introduce DC to Daredevil.
I mean, in terms of Hawkeye, though, like, do you think that we're going to get a season just with Yelena and Hawkeye, or do you think we're actually going to get like a season where we do see Budapest? Like maybe we do see that, and then the second season is when they introduce Yelena, or midway. Do you think on this season?
I think you only have Jeremy Renner for one season, to be honest. And I think what'll happen
Gotcha.
is it's going to start with. I think we're going to get a combination of both the Kate Bishop introduction and build up, and then also Yelena is going to come in, try and kill him, and I think they'll have like kind of a heart to heart. People are like saying that they think that obviously Yelena is probably going to go to Thunderbolts. They say that Clint himself might go, which could be interesting. Because he is a bit of an anti-hero himself, and the whole Ronin
Especially
thing
when
is
he
probably,
did Ronin.
Yeah, exactly. The whole Ronin thing, I'd say, is still pretty fresh.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't get enough Ronin.
I think he's taken Natasha's death very hard. Like, I'd be very curious to see his mindset and how he's kind of playing everything now after Endgame. I wouldn't be surprised if he went off to the Thunderbolts with her as well. Like, I could easily see that.
Oh, I get it. Like kind of like a reverse of when they were forming the Avengers. Because if Yelena's going after, like, because wasn't it that Clint was going after Black Widow?
Yeah.
And then converted her.
Yeah.
So if Yelena's going after Clint, then it sounds like she's probably going to convert him.
It seems like such comic book, like, story driven, like the way they do it. Like, it's like you'll always see the original, which is like the Nick Fury like assembling the Avengers, and now we have Val assembling like the Thunderbolts, and it's just the yin to the yang, and I would not be surprised if they get Clint over and he kind of joins the team, but then maybe Kate Bishop comes in and kind of brings him back to the light side or whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work, but it just seems like the whole kind of poetry thing, like, for sure.
Yeah.
So this isn't going to be his daughter?
I don't think so, no. I think his. I don't think.
I think it might
Bishop
lead to it.
I don't think Kate Bishop is his daughter, though, right?
I don't think
Kate
so
Bishop?
either.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Cassie Lang. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, that's.
I think
Ant-
Kate Bishop's his
Ant-Man's
daughter.
daughter, right?
Yeah,
Ant-Man's
that's
daughter,
yeah.
What's Hawkeye's last name in this? Barton, right?
Barton,
Barton.
yeah,
Yeah.
Clint Barton, yeah.
I thought it was about his daughter and him. I didn't know about Kate Bishop.
Yeah, because I think
I
you
don't know.
kind of get that at the start of Endgame, right? Where he's doing,
Yeah.
he's training her to shoot and stuff. But like, even if she wasn't going to become a hero, like, and you're the best marksman on the planet, you're obviously going to show your daughter a few tricks, like, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
He'll just wait till she he goes inside for hot dog and she puts them all into the middle of the thing. She just doesn't want to show him up and make him feel bad, you know? She's like, you can teach me something, Dad.
Oh my god, that's brilliant. Yeah, like I think I stay like solid to my original kind of thoughts that it was the movie's 2 years too late. It's also not in the right place in the timeline, which obviously is not really anyone's problem, anyone's fault. It's just the way it's been delivered to us. But I think it really like kind of hits hard for the original kind of viewing of it and the original reviews of it. Like, I think, as you say, like 5 years in 5 years' time, it's not going to matter because, you know, you're going to watch it in the timeline order. I actually checked Disney Plus. Disney Plus already have it in the correct order. It's actually kind of cool. So if you go into the timeline order, it's where it should be, and like Loki and stuff are all at the end. It's actually very good of Disney. Like, they've just literally popped it into the right place, like straight away if you've paid for the Premier Access for it, you know, which is really cool.
Have there been any leaks or rumors as to what the post or the mid-credits scene would have been for Black Widow had it been like placed in the right section?
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
it would have been the Quinjet one. I think the Quinjet was supposed to be the mid-credit scene, but they didn't have a produced credit scene. Instead, they had an opening credit scene, which they haven't done. And so I think that the Quinjet scene would have been the mid-credit scene had they had a proper, like, you know, flashy credit scene, like pew 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 pew,
Right.
versus just a credit scroll.
Yeah, because because the Yelena stuff felt kind of like tacked on. It was just like, okay, we're gonna put this here. We're gonna give you guys like an oh my god moment. And
Yeah,
then,
that scene looks like it was shot 3 weeks ago. Like,
I feel like it's not even an oh my god moment though, unless you've actually watched the Falcon and Winter Soldier and you've actually been properly introduced. Because if you haven't been introduced to her, you're sitting in that theater like, who the fuck is this guy?
I think
I think that would have been better, though, right?
I don't know. Like, I think whichever way you watch it, it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting both ways because, you know, if you have that scene, if you think about it, that's the first time you see her. You're like, oh, who's this woman that's like saying she's
But then
allergic
you
to
have
the
to like
Midwest or whatever.
Google it. Yeah, but then you have to like Google it and stuff, and it's
Well, that's
like,
how put yourself back into like Iron Man. You know, when you saw
Yeah.
Nick
Yeah.
Fury show up, I was like, "What? Who? What?"
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that would have had the same moment. I
Yeah,
think
everyone
it
would be
was
like, who the
similar.
hell is
think-
Valentina? And then they
I
would have
think
like
back
Googled her
then-
and it's like, holy shit, it's Lady Hydra. Holy crap, it's coming back.
Well, I guess in my sake, when I saw the eye patch on Nick Fury, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but you know,
I think back
I
then
totally
spoilers
understand.
were
that.
a lot worse, and I think I went into that spoiled. Like, oh, I know who this is showing up in the.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
this is why we're waiting for this.
That was again
I
that was one of the worst kept secrets ever. Like, everyone knew Samuel L. Jackson was showing up. They knew he was going to be a Black Nick Fury. Like, it was a big thing on the internet before he even appeared in
Yeah.
a movie. Like, you know, it was known that he was cast, and I suppose everyone just knew. Oh, hang around for the after credits. Like, you know, Samuel L. Jackson's going to show up. Like, and it's like obvious that he's like starting to make the Avengers. Like, you know, it was very.
Were there
very
any
obvious.
movies that did after credits before that? Really?
I think was there one or two in like the X-Men movies, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I think the X-Men movies had some. Yeah, it
Not
wasn't.
that I
a really big thing.
remember.
I can't place my. I couldn't. If you had a gun to my head right now and said name an after credit scene before Iron Man, I'm done.
Yeah, Marvel now has everybody wait until the end of the credits. Like, you know,
It's awful.
Dude, yeah.
Like, even on stuff where I'm like, oh, I wonder is there an after credits?
You know
scene? Like,
what?
I'll always fast
I
forward to the
kind of
end.
respect it though. I
'Cause, you know,
kind of
like-
respect it because imagine being the guy that worked your ass off of that movie
Yeah.
as some production assistant and just got your fucking ass reamed every day for coffee or whatever the case may be, and they're like, "But we're gonna give you a credit spot." And you're
Yeah.
sitting in
And
there,
no one reads them.
and like, yeah, and nobody ever reads them, and now you're like, "You fuckers are gonna sit here and wait for this after credit scene." There's my name.
Yeah, I'm always
Okay,
looking. I'm
so-
always looking for funny names when I'm watching the
There's
credits.
there are so many movies with end credit scenes, like so many.
Are there
movies.
really?
Yeah, I was kind of looking at it right now.
you know, there's
I
you know
feel
there's
like,
an after
I
there's
feel
an
like
after
maybe
credit
they
scene.
hijacked our brain.
You know, there's an after credit scene to every episode of Rick and Morty, and I didn't know it for like the first 2 seasons of the
Oh,
show.
I didn't. Yeah, exactly.
And I was just like, oh my
like,
god, I have to go
dude,
back and
I
rewatch
think you
every
gotta
episode
get
now.
back-
Yeah.
They're good, dude.
Yeah, they are.
funny.
They're fucking great, bro. They're great.
Can I also say about this movie? It's obvious that like this thing had like 2 different directors, or this is like designed by committee. You know how they brought up the idea, or they're telling everyone now that Marvel basically directs the action scenes themselves. They have their own internal production unit where all the action stuff is done by them, and they just bring the directors in to kind of like fill in the gaps, right?
Yeah. Oh no.
It's like in Loki, right? Where they're just sitting at a table and talking to each other. I feel like a lot of them fall flat. But one of my favorite scenes in the MCU right now is that family table scene in Black Widow when they're adults and they go and find the mom. They're all sitting at that table. That scene was so freaking good, man. Like the tension, the emotions,
Yeah.
the using
Fantastic.
exposition. Like, you know, a lot of dialogue scenes have exposition, but they're using the exposition to like attack each other. And like they're like in combat with each other by using exposition, and it moves the plot along and it tells us stuff we don't know, but it makes it like worthwhile, and it kind of it disguises what it is. And like she needs to come to Disney Plus if these are going to be like TV shows like that, because like she can write those small scenes, man. She can direct those small scenes. I loved it.
Yeah,
I
that
just
was-
wish we got more of that, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I love
I
it.
have a lot of energy.
Yeah. I'm just out of prison. I loved all that. I thought it was great, and like I loved the back and forth with the sisters, and I was actually like I was kind of confused because like you know at the start like on my first viewing of it I'm like were they actually like are they sisters? I'm so confused by it. I'm like I genuinely don't know, and then it's like you know oh listen to your mother, sit up and all this stuff, and you're like Jesus, like they are a family, but like they're technically not. But I was just
Right.
during the first viewing
They're just
I
assholes to each
was
other.
just like what the fuck is going on? Are they actually like related or not? Like I'm like I don't know what the hell is happening here.
Oh, the opening like threw me for a loop. I really didn't know because
Yeah.
you know I'm pretty well versed in all this stuff, and like I was like I don't know what's going on. This is fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Florence Pugh, like Chandler just said in the chat there, Florence Pugh stole the show. That's how I feel about it as well. Like, and I think it was done that way intentionally. I think if we got the movie 2 years ago, it would have absolutely been the Scarlet Show. But the fact that it's now at the very end of her contract and she's officially done, I think the movie's done that way to actually like put Florence in the spotlight, you know. And I think she is going to be amazing. Like, I think she's going to be great. She's very she's very funny. She's a very talented actress, and like you know she's very good at doing all the whole stunt side of things and everything. I was watching a good few interviews with Scarlett and stuff, and she was saying she was like so impressed with her on set, like regards to all the stunts and everything.
They have this documentary out about the chick that does like she's this famous stunt woman. She's Scarlett Johansson's for like all the movies, and this chick's a badass, bro.
Oh,
Yeah,
all
I
the
think it's
stunt people
under.
are
Oh,
nuts,
yeah.
bro.
They're
This
insane.
chick-
Any of those stunt doubles, like I have nothing but respect for anyone who does like stunt doubling for any show.
Oh, yeah.
Like you know, you're watching Daredevil, and it's like the dude who does all those stunts is a fucking animal. Like, and you know, any of these shows, it's always the same. Like the stunt doubles,
Yeah.
they don't get enough praise at all.
Even with technology and stuff, like when you
Yeah.
see motorcycle scenes and stuff, they're really like on these motorcycles doing this crazy stuff, and that's not safe.
Just to give someone a shout out from Star Wars as well, Ray Park, who played fucking Darth Maul, like he
Oh,
did
yeah.
all of his own stunts. He did
His
everything.
choreography, dude.
And
His
he-
choreography was so.
So good, bro. Jackie Chan, yeah, Jackie Chan's a beast. He does
Jackie
he
Chan
does
just,
everything
like,
himself.
He slid down. Yeah, he slid down
Yeah,
buildings,
Yeah,
bro.
he does everything
Oh my
himself.
God.
What?
Yeah, he's the
And
type
then
of guy
Ki-
where he won't do any, like the only things that he won't do is when the studio's like, we cannot insure you
And-
for this. Like,
You, even with his weird lifestyle, Tom Cruise breaking his ankle and stuff. I mean,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
kind of a badass.
Oh, he's the real
is.
deal.
yeah, he is. Like he's
Have you
hanging
seen,
out of helicopters and shit.
And like still finishing that scene, like have you seen that where he breaks his ankle and he still
Oh,
like
yeah,
pulls
yeah, yeah.
himself up and finishes
Yeah.
the scene? You have to just kind of be like, okay.
So guys, let
Yeah.
me paint a
Yeah.
quick picture, just while we're talking about Tom Cruise, and then we can move on. But so let's just say we get a Iron Man revival in the MCU. Do you want Robert Downey Jr. back, but he doesn't really give a fuck about the role, like he's kind of just coming back for a cash grab, or do you want Tom Cruise variant to take over as Tony Stark? Go.
I think we get neither. We get Iron Lad because I actually just found out recently that Iron Lad is actually a variant of King the Conqueror as a teenager who decides, hey, what if I didn't want to be a dipshit and I wanted
Yeah.
to do some good, and that's how he
that's
joins the.
that's very
So
true.
I like that. That's kind of like the Miles Morales for Iron Man. Kind of,
Yeah.
it's like neither same but different.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I
there's
like
a few
that.
different variants. Like we're gonna start seeing a lot of Kang variants. We'll
I would
we talk about
say-
that in the Loki part now soon.
Well,
RDJ has to come back. I don't think Tom Cruise can play Iron Man. I don't think I've seen him in a role that really is believable, where he's like the playboy. Like Vanilla Sky is the closest one, and he
He'd get
still
mean
doesn't
to
have
him.
that Tony Stark vibe, man.
He would be a meme.
Drunkie, have you watched Tropic Thunder?
Yeah,
yeah, he's
like,
he's a
That
maniac.
like
at
that
That's
was
not like
that
Tony
was
Stark.
well like he could
Hilarious.
well,
I
yeah,
still
but
didn't
he
believe
could
that was
tone it
Tom
down, but
Cruise.
he's still a millionaire in that
Yeah.
in that aspect, and he could tone it down just a little bit so it's not like all great like super
Yeah.
crazy down. But I think he could pull it off. I really
He
think he
probably
could.
I didn't believe that was Tom Cruise even after I was told it was Tom Cruise. I was like,
Yeah,
no
okay,
way.
it's so good.
I'm not gonna lie. The first time I watched it, I didn't even realize that was Tom Cruise.
Do you know he said in an interview that one of the main stipulations for him to do that film was that he wanted to be like fat and bald and just look absolutely outrageous. And he's like,
It's so good.
I want to be on the screen and I don't want anyone to know that it's Tom Cruise. Like that was his like main thing. Like, so they were like, fuck yeah, bro, get in here. Like,
They made
Can I-
RDJ both in that movie, huh?
Which, by the way,
losing themselves.
That's kind of like Thor or Chris being Throg for us. He phoned
Yeah.
in that
Throg.
line. He's-
yeah, that was
Can I
so
say-
cool that he actually did that for free.
Can I
I didn't
say
even
one
know he
little
said a
tidbit
line.
about Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
So I know. Do you guys remember the part where RDJ's like, "Man, I don't break characters until the DVD commentary."
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys ever have listened to commentaries before, but if you decide to say, you know what, I want to listen to the Tropic Thunder commentary, he does not break character until the credits.
That's
He
so
is
funny.
he
man.
is still that character all
Do
the
they
way
s-
until the
Do they
end.
still do commentaries on modern movies? Because I used to love listening to them, but I haven't done one in so
They're
long.
good on comedies. They're so good. I've always liked them on comedies.
Yeah.
You have to listen to the Total Recall one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh God,
It's
No.
it.
I feel like
is-
that's gonna be painful.
Yeah,
Arnold-
No,
so
it
good.
is
Ernie's
no.
the
You
man.
see him in the scene is literally fantastic. You know,
This scene's fantastic. It's great.
it's-
Here's me
like
doing
he
my own
literally,
stunts.
yeah. Just the conversation's amazing.
Oh, what? Also, Drunkie, you're saying you didn't know? Yeah, Chris not only phoned in the Throg like grunts, but apparently there was a deleted scene they took out of the first episode when
He had
Mobius was
lines
supposed to
and
be
everything.
showing. Mobius was supposed to be showing all these times that
Loki fails.
Loki had been embarrassed and
Yeah.
got his ass kicked, and one of those was going to be him getting his ass kicked by Throg, full size Loki getting his ass kicked by Throg. But they said it took away. They said that time theater scene they felt was taking up too much of the episode, so they deleted that scene out of it.
Yeah.
So Chris
I'm
was going to
kind
be
of upset
that
about
Throg too.
But he was
They
going to be
kept everything else
he was
in
going to
there?
be a
I know,
frog.
dude.
He was
How
going to
did
be
they
frog
delete
sized.
The fun stuff.
He was
Yeah,
gonna be
it's
frog sized.
versus
And he's gonna have
full
a
size
shit.
Loki.
Yeah, a frog,
Versus, yep.
a mini fucking hammer, dude. Yeah, so good. Yeah, like
Like
that's
they
just
have-
obviously it's a timeline where because you know obviously that happened to the main version. They talk about it in Ragnarok, but it's like obviously that's a version where it happened and the Loki of that time didn't change him back.
Yeah. Fucking it.
Some people were saying
like,
it was
we
like
had to see everything else. Like
Hopefully we'll get like an actual deleted scene. Maybe they'll, because if they say that there's a deleted scene, they have to have it somewhere. So maybe they'll drop while we're in the next
Well-
week or so. Maybe they put it on Disney for us.
it's probably really just like bad CGI. Like they didn't take it to post or anything like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, probably not.
But even give us the YouTube video. That's just like I want to hear the
Well,
dialogue.
we did get the full Zemo dance, so you never know. It might happen.
Yeah, that's
True.
true.
Especially since like Chris Hemsworth actually did work for it. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they did finish it.
True.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying they were like theorizing that you know the way Kid Loki said that he was pruned because he killed Thor.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were theorizing that maybe he was the one who actually turned Thor into the frog and then got lost or something, and that's why he's buried underground. And that's like, you know, and then he couldn't change him back, and that's why he got pruned because
Yeah.
Loki went Thor went missing. He wasn't actually killed; he just went missing. But he was presumed dead, so that's why the TVA got rid of him. Then it's kind of interesting.
That's really interesting.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so you guys want to get into Loki official for the episode? I say
let's go,
You got to get back in time.
We got to start with the round table. Let's give it the rating. Alex, start us.
I rewatched it and I was like, you know what? Like, I really enjoyed the conversation that they had. I really enjoyed everything that went on. I think something was missing. I feel like something I don't know what, but something was missing.
I can tell you.
Resolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just, yeah, I'm still kind of baffled. Like it's one of those things where like I want to give it like a good rating, but I think a 7.5.
Oh,
7.5, maybe
wow.
like leaning more towards an 8 because I still really.
I'm just so disappointed.
I had to rewatch it and I was like, you know what? Like I'm starting to not care so much, like about what's ultimately going on and like what they cut. Because obviously they cut, the timekeepers, unless he was lying and pretty much took over that spot from the timekeepers and kept them around until like they died or something. I mean, but even then, it's like it cuts into a more modern aspect of like, oh man, we don't want the timekeepers to be like the rulers that I took over at this point. Because if you were to think about it this way. That is he who remains. They've already confirmed that's he who remains. It's not Kang. So for people who are like, oh man, that's Kang. It wasn't. It was Immortus.
Immortus.
It can be both.
Yeah.
Immortus, yeah.
Well, it's a variant. So once he passed, then an infinite amount of him spawned. In which case, the whole TVA thing. Which, by the way, that's why I have this Back to the Future Part 2 thing, because when Loki went back and came to see like, and they're like, who are you? I'm like, okay, what is like, did they just watch Back to the Future Part 2 to the part where like Marty came back and they don't know who the hell he is and like they go see?
I don't think
you don't think so?
No.
Because it just feels like that. Like, they went back from like a future point then just like.
I think that Loki's dropped into a different universe. It's a different TVA because the TVA look different, and there's like a big, massive statue of Kang, the Conqueror.
Right. But how? Because wouldn't the TVA be within the null time space? In which case, it doesn't matter what time space they're in.
Sylvie used pretty much the skeleton key temp pad, the temp pad that unlocks every door. So who's to say that temp pad literally probably has doors to other timelines that maybe aren't completely pruned, that he has like, who's to say at this point where that temp pad or what version of the TVA, what universe he was sent to.
Right, but if it's outside of the aspect of time, then it shouldn't be changed whatsoever.
But if it is it a different universe, which is outside.
That's what I think. I think
it's
it's a different universe.
It's a whole nother universe.
I think he's in a different universe.
I mean, it's possible. But
now we have multiverses, right? So
right,
like as the timeline's breaking apart, and like or not even the timeline, as all the multiverses are starting to break apart and spiral, she kicks him out of there. So he could have ended up in one of those, I guess. I don't know.
It just seems weird.
Or maybe he is on what is the sacred timeline, but it's all changed now because again, time is a loop. This is all going to repeat, like he says. Gonna see you again.
Yeah.
Right.
Think if we.
But I do see how it could work. I know that within the null time space, they do have their own sense of time, but I always thought that it was separate from the actual timeline, which is why they're able to go into different areas, into different parts of the multiverse, and prune it or change it, however which way they want. So it's because the flow is different. It shouldn't be that when Loki comes back, all of a sudden it's changed. It should take like eons for it to happen. Or at the very least, like we see that like I'm assuming in season 2 we're going to see multiple Kangs. I really want to see that. I want to see a Council of Kangs. Yeah, I want to see the Council of Kangs.
Coffee Monk just said in the chat here, and I was about to bring this up as well. At the very start of the episode, you see 2 black holes, and I think that was to showcase 2 different timelines. And I think what happens is, I think
that's just opening your mind to the.
I think that the way I was watching the video, I wish I saved it because I would have just played it right now. It might have helped us. But the way it was explained was that there was like technically for each of these timelines there's its own TVA, so there's TVAs on TVAs, and it's just like he could have dropped back into any one. And I think what they were doing by showing that visual at the start of the episode was that you need to get it into your head now that there is more than one timeline, so that when he actually drops back in, he's looking around and things feel different to him, and then he runs into Mobius, and Mobius doesn't have a clue who he was. And it wouldn't have made sense if it was his Mobius, because his Mobius should know who he is, because
Right.
they bounce around through time all the time, but like they're not getting their minds wiped in the TVA, so I don't see how a time travel event would affect Mobius now when he's been bouncing around through time and not
Well,
losing his memories,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Well,
dealing with the grandfather paradox a lot here, which is if you go back in time and kill your grandfather, how could you have went back in time to kill your grandfather? Because then you would have never been born. So with time travel, you deal with this thing is if when you mess with something at either a really future point or a really distant point, and especially when you're considering time as a loop in this situation, that's how the future point makes sense here. When you do something that changes time, how would it be possible? Because that's where the paradoxes begin. Because technically, instantaneously, it should have that change. The second
But
you do something,
not
it should have.
not in the MCU's timeline or the explanation of time. Like in their universe, it's the deal. Like when you change something in the past, that immediately becomes your future. Like you're no longer have the past. Like the present is like your past. Like it changes everything. And you're on a new timeline, right? Like they explain that, and they do that in Endgame, where it's like they say when you go back and change something in the past, you're no longer in the same timeline. You have created a branch timeline
Yeah.
where now you're splitting
Right.
off.
Yeah.
But in this situation, they're in a place because that's assuming that you have no control of where your location is. We're dealing with the TVA, and with them being at the end of time, they're kind of in like a static position outside of time. So when the change happens, it doesn't. They're not in a place where it could branch off. The TVA itself can't really branch off unless you're in another universe. I don't know.
Right.
But it's
one of
confusing.
one
I'm
one of the
confusing
things
myself.
one of the things though that I feel defeats the purposes is the fact that they call themselves variants. If they were clones, I would understand. Like if season 2 it shows that like that Mobius and that Hunter B-15 are clones, that makes sense. But if they're variants, then that means that they had to have been plucked from a different timeline, which could have been from any part of the multiverse.
Yeah.
And if you're saying that the TVA is like a multiversal like being or like establishment, then that really does still defeat the purpose of having variants. At that point, like it's like I don't like the idea of having multiple TVAs. I like the idea of having one TVA. If that's a governing system that is supposed to dictate the flow of time, whether it be singular or multiversal, then those have to either be variants or they have to be clones. And so to come back in time or to be sent to an alternate TVA, it still doesn't make sense to me. So like that's what
I wonder then.
it's confusing as hell.
This all leads into why my problem with this episode is I feel like they're leaning too heavily on the fact that they have another season. Like Drnkie said, the things that we're missing here is resolutions. The things that you're saying that, oh, what am I missing here? You're missing the actual confirmation of what Sylvie's Nexus event was. You're missing a fucking jet ski. You're missing a bunch of other resolutions that we didn't get yet again. But yet this time we're supposed to, they soften the blow a little bit by saying, by the way, there's a season 2. Which
There's just no payoffs. There's nothing. There's
No.
like for me, this episode is like a 6.5 because outside of us getting introduced to Kang, right, or Immortus, and like the at the very end of it all, and he's there, and this outside of like meeting him and Sylvie like sticking it in him, there is literally no payoff to anything else in this entire show. It is outside the realm of like who wrote this. Is there an actual writer's room? Like, are they actually talking to each other about like the payoffs for this whole season? What was Loki's purpose? Like, does Loki even have a character in this? Does he even accomplish anything at all in this entire show? He doesn't do. He accomplishes nothing. It's one of the weirdest shows I think I've ever watched. and I was just completely disappointed the whole time. And I went into this last episode really wanting to love it, blown away by the visuals. I thought this was as close to a movie as we've gotten in terms of visuals.
The
right?
last episode
Right.
was stunning. The last
It was
episode was
gorgeous.
stunning.
Spectacular.
Yeah,
Gorgeous.
it
The
really was.
visuals department is killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stunning.
and it's just nothing nothing was paid off at all.
The-
Like literally, fucking
Like-
Renslayer just walks off and says, "I'm gonna go discover free will." Like where in a good TV show? Like where the fuck are you going? Come back.
It's so-
We'll see.
I
We'll
saw-
see what
I
Doctor
saw
Strange
a
theory
do.
about that. I saw a theory about that. If you're looking at the beginning or at some point during the episode, it's showing a different all these flashes, and one of them, I think it's the beginning. It shows a ship, a spaceship that's like this weird technology, almost looks like the Quinjet. And I've heard a theory already that this could be that vehicle she talked about earlier, the prototype vehicle that could help them get to the void. So maybe she went and got in that jet, and now that's how she's gonna meet Kang or Immortus. I think on season 2, instead of it being Immortus at the end, I think that's how they're setting it up, is that it's gonna be Kang instead of Immortus. Like they introduced this
Right.
version kind of as Immortus / He Who Remains. And with that statue at the end, it's like that was more comic book accurate as to his costume. And I think that way they're trying to set it up to be, okay, now with killing him, now you set up here's one of the bad variants. This is what this battle looked like.
Yeah. Which I think is very clever because, like, I was 100% convinced they were not going to give us Kang the Conqueror, John, in this show because I'm like, well, how could they take that away from Ant-Man? Like, that's their villain. Like, that's their movie.
This was a
I
clever
think that,
way
I
to
think
do
now
it.
Very clever.
I think that now makes a lot more sense though. Like my takeaway of the episode was like I've only seen it the one time now. I do need to rewatch it. I'll probably rewatch it on Sunday. But when I first watched it, you know, I saw the whole scene, and like the second I saw Jonathan Majors, I actually got so giddy. Like I was like, "Holy shit, we're not getting bonered here. This is
I
like
did the
fucking
same
amazing."
thing.
Like I was like, "Yes." I was like, "They're
I
actually doing
literally
it right."
put up a
I was
picture of him on my phone. I was like, "Wait, is that him?
Yeah.
is that him?"
Oh, I
I'm
knew
like
it was
looking at him in the light. I'm like, he
him
looks
straight
different
away.
here. I don't.
No, I knew it was him straight away. I loved like the whole fucking. I loved the like how he was dressed, how he acted. He was just like this real smug motherfucker who knows everything and just
It's so
chilling out at the end.
flamboyant. The way he,
Yeah,
like,
just
I love that.
chilling out at the end of time, and then I don't know. I was a fan of it. I
You
like.
didn't
I
like
liked,
that? You didn't like his flamboyant his performance?
I thought he was trying to channel the Riddler from
Jim Carrey's Riddler.
Batman.
The Riddler.
Jim Carrey's Riddler. I thought he was going there.
Oh no.
And I thought he just like swung and a miss. Like just missed the ball in that. I thought he had moments where he seemed really like there and like cool, but I felt like this thing was just kind of out of his reach. The character looked cool. His cinematography was great. That opening scene with like the elevator opens, he's sitting there, fantastic.
Yeah, loved it.
But I just thought there's multiple lines that he didn't deliver well. I just don't think he embodied it fully. I and this is for me loving him. In Lovecraft Country, I thought he was the shit. Like when I saw him cast in this role, I was like, oh my god. So I know they had to do something different because he's not supposed to play the same character, right?
Yeah.
But I just don't. I feel like it missed the mark for me. It's not a great performance for me.
The
I know
next-
other people are saying they love it, so it's obviously subjective. But
The next
Yeah, right.
the next version of him that we're going to get though is going to be something completely different. Like, and that's what
Yeah.
interests me the most because, like, you know,
Right.
we're getting this kind of like wizard at the end of time, and he knows everything, and he's just sitting there like a god in his throne, just bored. He's like, I'm done. Like, you know, I've been here for like fucking millions of years. I've had enough. He just wants to die, and like I just loved the whole crossing into the unknown. You know, he knew the
Yes,
moment. He's like,
dude.
this is it. I know no more. I don't know what's gonna happen next. And
that was cool.
yeah, it was just like acceptance.
like the
he's
rumbling
he's
in the background.
Yeah, he's just ready to go, and I just
Yeah.
thought that was really cool. I thought that was really well done, and like I loved when he died, and I just thought because I've been pretty much saying this since the beginning, like that I think we're viewing. What we're viewing is the end, and where we are in the MCU now is only the beginning. So, the way he kind of clarifies it at the end, it's like, you know, he's like, you're going to see me soon. I'm going to start popping into time now. And it's like he sends Loki back, and now it's back to our present time. But now it's the start of the multiversal war, and everything, the sacred timeline that we've all been hearing about for the entire time through the TVA is only just beginning now. So I think like we've gotten the glimpse at the end, and I just love that we're now going to go back to the start. Because like I feel like when we were kind of hearing about all these like multiversal fucking wars and stuff, I'm like, how are we like, you know, Like, how are
Told
we
you,
not seeing any of
called
this?
dude.
Yeah,
I
like-
said the victors of a war control the history. His timeline, he was just the winner, bro.
Yeah.
And he was saying like that this is what it is.
Yeah.
And
then we throws
it-
him back to the start, and he
it-
goes, enjoy it. I'll see you soon, or you're going to see a version of me soon. And
Right.
I just think that's fucking
I
badass,
love the
bro.
idea of his character. I
Yeah.
love the idea of his character. I love what they did with that story wise. I just think it was his performance, especially the first time I fell asleep during this episode was when they just had the 5-minute exposition scene where he's explaining everything on the table in front of them. Who the fuck wrote that, man? It's so boring. It's just like, oh, let me tell you everything about everything. Like, I felt like I was in like 5th grade again, bro. Like having a teacher explain stuff to me, just like down.
in their
I'm
mind,
gone.
they're building suspense, but like I wasn't like suspense. It wasn't suspense for me. It was anxiety. Like I get this. Let's move on.
Yeah,
It just-
it's got me excited though to see Ant-Man, because I want to see like the Kang, the Conqueror variant of him pop up, you know, and like he's the he's the badass who fucking in the comic books has killed like everybody, you know, like he's like
Yo.
the most baddest motherfucker ever, like, so, you know, he's
Totally pumped about that part.
How'd you
Yeah.
feel about Miss Minutes in the start though? Do you guys like that or not?
No,
It's
I
been like one of my most hated characters is this whole fucking show, man. Like,
yeah,
it's so
like,
weird.
I just
Her
think,
like with her eyes bugged out. Hey y'all.
I thought that was gonna go somewhere.
Yeah.
I thought that was gonna go somewhere really cool, and it just kind of was anticlimactic. The whole Miss
Like,
Minute thing.
here's what I don't understand, and like, you know, like I need Doctor Strange to come out so they can have an actual director come and explain this to the audience how everything fucking works.
Sam
because
Raimi?
why would Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
And why would Miss Minutes be there in the very beginning, offering them a deal if they turn back now, right? But then they get back up to Kang or Immortus, and he's like offering them like, you know, no, you can do this. You can be the ones who rule everything.
They're calling that
Yeah,
the
it was
test.
so rough.
That was
Like-
the
So-
test of that was like his test of morality. That if they would have accepted that deal, then they weren't fit to rule the end of time, kind of thing. Even though,
Right.
which still doesn't make sense in the context that he already knows they're not going to take the deal. So why
Right.
even offer the deal if you know they're not going to take the deal? Like the
So-
deal is irrelevant.
So they had something planned for that. So they apparently, and this is from an update. This is from Kate Herron. We had a version where Loki and Sylvie kept meeting her at the Citadel. At one point, we had a fight scene with Miss Minutes in the Citadel.
Jesus Christ. How do you fight with
This is
with
from-
a hologram?
This is from Kate Herron explaining about Miss Minutes fight scene almost happening.
It's ridiculous. To be fair, I'll say one thing as well. I don't know why, but they definitely saved like the best choreography for the last episode as well. Like, it was still pretty bad, but it was the best that we got. Like the fight scene
Yeah.
between the two Lokis was
Pretty cool.
it was okay. It was okay, but it wasn't great.
It's a contractual obligation for Tom Hiddleston to get knocked down facing like this and then flip his hair up looking at the camera. Every movie, it's contractually obligated that he does that move.
I've been falling for 30 minutes. That was his best
When you go
one.
back and rewatch this, Vento, you're gonna be almost uncomfortable how ridiculous it looks when Sylvie is swinging a sword like full on at Immortus or He Who Remains.
Yeah.
And then because Loki shows up, it comes like full stop, bro.
It stops,
Like,
and
it's
I'm like, what?
okay.
No,
They
his head's
literally-
gonna come off. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's
It's
over.
just like,
But is he
Okay,
using
yeah.
like telekinesis to stop it as well, like, or is he just like? Do
Well,
you
I
think
think
she
they're trying to
stops?
say that they're trying to say that she stops, but
I
I mean,
don't know,
there's
yeah.
literal compilations of people that's considered like even amongst the highest elites to stop like a swing or something like golf swing or bat swing mid
Hey, you
swing
can't.
full
You can't do
power
it.
is like
You can't
nearly
stop that.
impossible unless you're
We're not gods, like,
legend.
so you know.
And his
She's
hand's
not
not in
swinging
front
with
of
her
the
hips.
blade.
Yeah.
His hand's not in front of the blade, is it? If
Yeah.
it's in front of
no,
the blade,
it's
then
just his neck. It's just his
then
neck.
it's
Yeah.
not plausible. It's not.
It's
Well, I think he may have stopped it with telekinesis. Let's just say these Lokis are not as powerful as they seem, or they're more powerful than they seem. Hey, is that not the thing that we're meant to
Yeah.
believe here?
yeah, he forgot about episode 3.
Yeah.
How did you guys like that? Wait, we're
Glorious
skipping
first-
past the very beginning. That opening Marvel scene though, that led into that, like they turned into explaining the multiverse, like where they're showing all the quotes, and then the Marvel
Yeah.
Studios comes up. That was so good. Going
Yeah, it
into
was
like
great.
the real life break the fourth wall, Nelson Mandela quotes, all that.
I thought the second I heard the Captain America theme tune, me and my girlfriend just looked at each other like, oh my god, what's about to happen here? Like, you know, the Chris Evans theme. I was like, what the fuck's going on? I was like, holy shit, and nothing happened, but it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What you guys think about Renslayer's background, her principal?
Yeah, I don't know. People were
That
like
was fine.
clutching at straws, saying like, you know, that there was like trying to say it was like something to do with like a Spider-Man thing, and that like, you know, they were saying
That's the principal at his school.
Yeah,
But it was
no, but
during the snap apparently.
yeah, but also she's like a step in, like for
it was-
if the actual principal got blipped or something.
It was after it was after the blip. I don't think it was before the fix. I think it was like midway.
So it's during
I don't know.
during that 5 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ohio's having a good year in the MCU, huh? Like,
Right?
Oh yeah, dude.
Loki and Sylvie kissing is basically Tom Hiddleston touching himself. Yes or yes? That's for Blakey.
I got no problem with this. I got no problem with this.
That's so
Blakey,
good.
I wouldn't. I'm not gonna say enough.
Blakey doesn't understand the multiverse. He
Kyle.
doesn't get it.
Kyle, what like I thought about you though, man, when I saw Jonathan Majors like going, "Grow up, Sylvie," and I'm like, "Oh man, this sounds like Kyle. Grow up."
The way he delivered that line, great.
That
where
was-
he,
that was
had rage
fantastic.
in him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wish-
but
I
the
wish I
one
had more
where
of that.
he did have a line where he like was like almost crying, and it made me just feel so. Well, like after he originally gets knocked down, and he's like, and I was like, "Yo, you've been getting beat up this whole show, and you just had to make that noise, like, bro, nut up. At this point, nut up, bro. You're at the end of time."
Is this the same Loki that we've been seeing the whole season too? Like, don't you think Tom Hiddleston was like really flat in this episode? Like really low key and like talking like this the whole time. And
His
Sylvie,
voice
like,
was
what-
so deep. Like his voice was like nearly breaking my speaker. It was so deep. Like me and my girlfriend kept saying, like, how deep is like a tone is his voice? Like it's crazy.
And he just kept going like this and like,
Yeah,
like
so
that's
deep.
like what?
Was it reaching Shaq levels?
It was pretty deep, bro. Like my subwoofer was working, bro. It was
Right,
working.
that's why, dude. The subwoofer though, saying stuff like that, like you were saying, that's what made that hit so hard. When
Yeah.
like it got up to the point where he didn't know. He's like, it started rumbling in my house, like when
Oh, yeah.
the timeline started originally branching, and it's like,
Yeah, bro.
and he's
So
like,
good.
I don't know what happens after this point, and I was just like, oh, ho, ho.
Yeah, like I really
Or
hope.
does
I
he?
really hope that
or does he?
I really hope that everybody's like, you know, watching this shit with proper sound, like, because sound is so important. Like,
Yeah.
you know, invest in a 2.1 surround sound or 5.1 if you can get it. Like, it's just, it makes the absolute difference. Like,
Get a
100%.
nice
So-
little sound bar.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
a quick tidbit about Ravonna Renslayer, Michael Waldron, which is the writer for Loki, he stated that she wants to find out who pulled the wool over her eyes. That's what she's going to go out in search of. She's a scary customer to be out in the multiverse, so we'll see what happens.
No,
We
see,
already know.
I-
That's
yeah,
That-
she's gonna meet
yeah.
Kang and fall in love with him. Like, like I expected her
Yeah.
to be in this episode meeting him because we already know where it's leading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I-
even understand. It just
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
it's so obvious. Like, you know, anybody the first time you hear Kang, like one of the first things you do, like when you Google Kang, is like you'll see the link to Ravonna. Like it's so fucking obvious. Like anybody can figure it out in 2 seconds. Like you know,
Yeah.
I don't want
Yeah.
I don't even want her in season 2. Like I just don't want to see it. If she has a small role in Ant-Man 3, whatever. But I don't want season 2 of Loki to be.
No,
about
don't let her
at
take
all.
up. Well, don't let her take up our theater time, bro. Take up our season 2 time, not our theater time, because theater time, you get a one shot on a movie. You get multiple episodes in the season. Take up my season 2, please. Do
Yeah.
not come into my Ant-Man movie.
I don't know, like you know, obviously Ant-Man's going to be about Kang the Conqueror, so I think, like, you know, definitely, I think we're going to get a bit of an origin.
Yeah, maybe
to
Kang's
that
mad because
character.
she gets slayed in season 2 because she's useless.
Yeah, Liam's
Hey.
right. Liam's right what he's saying in the chat there. Like this Loki's like the evil Loki. He's like the straight after, like the dictator Loki. Straight after the thing in New York, like.
Well, yeah, I think
So-
I think this episode is to supplement that same change that he went through in Ragnarok, but this is how he's hitting that same journey now. Is through what we saw through this, because we see him almost achieve the same like character transformation that he does in Ragnarok through this whole show. Almost by like episode 3, he's already almost completed that transformation. Like he's already helping the TVA. He's trying to like not fighting against him. He's not like trying to be the like and then it even culminates to the end at the end of this episode where he's like, I don't have no evil plan. I don't want a throne. Like he goes through that. I think this show is to supplement that same transformation, but now he's been removed from that timeline. So since he couldn't go through it via Ragnarok, now he's going through it TVA style.
Well,
That's my take on it.
I think you're right about that, but I don't think that it doesn't work for me. Like, I just don't think I like that version of Loki where he has no plan. Because even in Ragnarok, even though he still had a transformation, he still wanted to pull tricks on people.
Oh,
Still be
he's always
the
a
god of
trickster.
chaos.
Always a trickster.
It's like he's on his rock bottom.
Yeah, he's the god of chaos, right? And so we get to this place at the very end where he's the one like, no, we can't do this. We can't create chaos. We have to like, and I'm like, what? This should be Loki. Like, he should be thinking that he's gonna take over the multiverse by stabbing this guy and killing him.
It's his bread and
Stabs
butter.
him. He gets knocked back out to the TVA, and it's like back in time. They don't know who he is, and he sees the statue of Kang, who he just killed. And he's not in power. Like, that should have been the ending to this thing, where he thinks he's again about to like get right there where he's supposed to be. And this is just like, as much as this show is trying to show that time is a loop, Loki's character development should be a loop, where he goes through all this progression and he goes right back where he started, just wanting to be at the top of stuff, wanting to take over things, and like make come back around full circle, and they just completely miss it. Like, I just don't like the Loki they created here.
Yeah.
One of the things I gauged from that scene where Sylvie was basically on her mission now to basically kill Immortus was the fact that, like, although they were painting a picture that Sylvie was going to be the hero of this show, she ultimately became a villain. And Loki ultimately became the actual hero.
I love
because
that.
he was doing his best to save the timeline and keep it sacred.
But
yeah,
that can get messy though, because is the person creating free will the hero or the villain?
But that's the thing is like but that's the thing is like if you're a hero, you don't necessarily want to kill the enemy, no matter how much they've destroyed your life, no matter how much they put so much damage onto you and your timeline.
Heroes have to be selfless.
They have to.
She's not.
And she's not. Ultimately, she killed him.
She's a fucking Loki.
I literally
I never want to hear you defend U.S. Agent again, because you're defending U.S. Agent. Back, I don't want to hear it ever again.
Oh, you're talking to Pinto?
All I'm saying is,
on board U.S. Agent's side. Fuck this.
I just rewrote the show in my mind in 5 seconds, and it's better. I feel like Loki should have been at the TVA, and you know how his magic doesn't work there? And they introduced us to chaos magic with WandaVision. He should have gained access to chaos magic at the TVA, and then be like, oh, I have access to this now. Bing, bang, boom. And then, like you said, the ending. He kills Kang or Immortus with the chaos magic, and then gets kicked through the door, and then he gets back, and then now his chaos magic doesn't work, and now he's not powerful anymore. And he looks over, and there's a statue, and he's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Is Richard E. Grant dead? No or no? He's dead.
Richard Grant?
Richard E. Grant, the classic Loki. He is definitely not dead. He is still alive.
I believe he said he was done. I think he said it was a wild ride. He was happy to be there for at least one episode, and he's done.
I still don't believe
maybe
the character's dead.
Right?
It'd be nice to bring him back.
I still think the character is alive.
Because he's so beloved, you know? Like, everyone loved seeing him in that role. They might bring him back. They might find a way.
Yeah.
So
I heard an interview with him where he's like, he shows up and he's like, all right, I'm seeing the suit, and he thinks that they're gonna like kind of like put like a muscle suit on him, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, where's the muscles? And they're like, oh no, you don't. You're not getting the muscle suit here. You're just this. He goes, I look like fucking Kermit.
I remember.
Did you hear what he said about it? He's like, my dad used to always give me such grief when I would be acting in plays and stuff, because I'd look so silly in costumes and stuff, like being Peter Pan and all this shit. And he was just like, my dad would be getting such a kick out of this now. He's like, I'm in one of the biggest TV shows in the world right now, and I look like this, like, and it's him just standing there in the suit, like.
It's so theater, and I love it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, in terms of the ending too, like I really don't think like Loki showing up and seeing the statue was that big of an excitement. I really think that it would have been nice to see he comes through, and it turns out everything is just in shambles. Everything is just like broken and destroyed, and like everything is like just dead.
That's what.
And then you see the statues all crumbled over. There's no statue of Kang, but like then I don't know. I would say like just for dramatic effect, you see a door open, like a time door open, and all of a sudden you see like silhouettes of Kangs just like coming through.
Well, like they kind of did that. They kind
over
of
the
did
top.
that in his office, and I loved it. Like when you see him go into his office, there's 4 timekeeper statues, and one of them's broken, and there's so many implications of that. What's that for statue? Is that another timekeeper? Was there a fight here? Did somebody else make it to him previously? And they had a fight in there and broke the statue. Like it's so cool.
It was an homage to the comic. There was in fact a 4th timekeeper.
What's there? I've never even heard of that.
He was deleted basically because he went against the timeline by going and warning the Fantastic Four of something that was going to occur.
Oh, nice.
The show Loki, they had to try to stop it before they fucking MCU made it.
Love it.
I think about this series as a whole, and I try to like pull themes out and like what they're trying to do, what they're trying to tell you the whole time. And what I think it has come down to is like free will and predetermination. And I just don't think in the finale they really grasped that concept enough and they didn't talk about it enough. They tried to show it a little bit, but if you go back and like you compare this to other things that deal with that, like philosophy wise, I wish they would have touched on it more. Like, is there actually free will? Even if you do this multiverse and you create free will, is it even there in the first place? Because Kang starts to lay the seed with Sylvie, like telling her, hey, you can't trust Loki. And then that dominoes into her not trusting Loki, right? Like it's the scene from The Matrix where she says, oh, don't worry about it. He goes, what? He turns and he like knocks over the vase. And she's like, oh, what's really going to eat you is if I didn't tell you about it, would you have done it in the first place? Like that is the biggest idea I pull from Loki. And like, they don't touch on it enough, man. It's all just they like fly by the seat of their pants every episode. Every episode's kind of different, and I don't know what the purpose of this show is outside of serving the MCU universe as a whole, right? And I think that just makes for a bad show. Like I don't think you need. It's like Finto says this all the time. They're DLCs for the Marvel universe. Like you don't need a show to show what they did this because they really don't make a show worth it.
I think you're 100% right. I think they were trying that, and it's like the groundwork for that's laid there, but they didn't capitalize good enough. Like, I think that the way they were trying to show that was, the whole episode they're saying they're Lokis. That's what they do. They can't be trusted. And then he even says, he's like, you can't trust, and I can't be trusted. And he's trying to say in that moment, but like, trust me. He's trying to show that he's free will, but they could have done it in such a better way. Like you say, the way the Matrix does it. Hit so hard, and they needed when you're playing with time travel, you need those kind of like paradoxical moments that make you sit there and loop and think about it, and they really left those on the table, and it's kind of a sad day. I was gonna say a really funny side note though. I don't know if anyone here watches Rick and Morty, but like you know how Rick and Morty writers have all been taken, like a bunch of them have been taken. This whole season of Rick and Morty, they've been dropping like MCU digs the whole time, talking about like RDJ and like all. It's
sure.
Funny.
Michael Waldron is a writer for Rick and Morty, and he's the one who made the show. So, there's a lot of like, do you know that I don't know if it was the start of this week's episode, but episode 4 of Rick and Morty came out this week, and then episode 7 of the season got leaked. So I've already seen episode 7 of this season as well. It's not as good as episode 4, but there was, I think it's at the start of episode 4 where Beth walks into the thing and it's just like, okay, Morty, what fucking Marvel bullshit you want me to take you to so you can jizz all over it? Like, it's just so fucking good, dude. Like, it's just so fucking funny. Like, I think it was episode 4. I don't know if did you see that this week?
I think episode 5 past one.
Or sorry,
maybe
5.
4.
Whatever.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there was a leaked episode that went up on the internet that I ended up watching. Spoilers. I won't talk about it.
I haven't checked out the season at all.
Yeah, no, it started off really well, but the last 2 episodes have been pretty shit.
Well, they're going off like
sorry, not shit, but bad. Weird. Just bad because they're being too weird and not funny. I think this is a problem with Rick and Morty. Sometimes when they try to stay really smart and funny, it works so well, but when they try to get like weird for the sake of being weird, it just gets a bit too much for me. Like, and I'm just like, it's not really funny. Like me and my girlfriend watched the leaked episode, and like she turned to me after, she's like, I didn't laugh once in that episode. It was just fucking stupid. Like, you know, so it's
and that's the worst kind of episode you can get.
Exactly. Like, and I'm like, did they leak this episode on purpose because they just don't give a fuck about it? Like, it's a kind of throwaway one. I don't know how it got out there or anything, but it just wasn't that good. It was kind of like an anime ripoff, and they kind of, like, you know, that kind of Transformers ripoff show, whatever it's called. Oh my god. With the 5 different colors.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail this too much on Rick and Morty.
No, and I don't mind. But yeah, I don't know. It's just
every episode can't be a hit for them when MCU steals all the writers.
Of course.
That's what, dude. That's what they've made fun of them so much for that. I think I watched this YouTube videos breaking it down. It's like Shang-Chi has a writer, Ant-Man has a writer, Loki took a writer. It's like 3 or 4 writers have been.
And it makes sense. It makes sense because, like, all these Rick and Morty guys, all they're doing is, like, making storylines about multiverses and fucking timelines and all this shit. So, you know, we're in the multiverse, so they need that shit. They need people who know how to write this stuff and for it to actually make sense. Because, like, you know, there's a lot of people that say, you know, you need to be quite intelligent to understand Rick and Morty and see the true comedy in it. Like, you know, it's not just fart jokes and stuff. Like, there's actual physics shit in it. Like, there's actual proper science in it. So.
She said you didn't laugh all last episode, so
I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't like the last episode, but
I know you said you got to be smart to get the joke. What are you saying about yourself? Right?
Oh wow. Wow. Disconnecting Kyle from the call.
Sky.
One quick thing I just wanted to say about Black Widow. I forgot to bring up while we were talking about Black Widow, but. I don't know if you saw that there was during do you know the big, when the Red Guardian's in the prison scene and he's doing the arm wrestling and stuff, you know, the big giant guy? He was meant to have
Major?
Yeah, he was meant to have a much bigger part in the movie, and when he was hired for his role, he was told, isn't he a character that turns out to be a mutant and he becomes a bear?
Yep. Oh, you're right. It's Ursa.
It's Ursa Major.
Yeah. So I was like, they cut that out, but technically he is the first mutant to show up in the MCU. How cool is that? Oh my
god. They don't know how they're going to introduce the mutants yet. That's why they didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I think so. I think
they don't know how they're bringing them in.
I think they had a scene.
Oh, I heard a theory of how they're doing it.
Go on.
You know how Wolverine was that Weapon X project, right? And then there was like Weapon 13 was like Deadpool or something. Well, the way I've heard they're going to introduce it is technically Weapon 1 was Steve Rogers for that and for all of that project. Yeah, so that's how you tie it in. You just you introduced the leaders of that project that I don't know who 2 through whatever were, but they're all on the same weapons project timeline. So
yeah,
right.
I never knew
Wolverine's
that.
Wolverine's the easiest to get in. I think Wolverine's one of the easiest ones for them to bring in.
It's so easy, bro. It's so easy.
It's a floodgate. You only need one.
Yeah, No. Because, like, how do you bring in Xavier? How do you bring in Magneto? These legacy characters who have been supposed to have been around for a long time.
True.
How do you explain them not being around, not being noticed?
Yeah.
Especially like Magneto.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, Cerebro hiding all the mutants. That's right. I think that makes the most sense. And then you do a time travel not a time travel, like a timepiece movie where it's the first the first Wolverine movie, but it's set during like World War II, and you have him in the background of a scene in Captain America, and that's just how you tie it in. Like the way they did it with Mysterio in Spider-Man and in all that shit. Like they're good at doing that.
I really think they should have started teasing it.
Oh, you go ahead. These writers go. I feel like they're just gonna be like, they're gonna introduce them in one multiverse and then pretend like, okay, they've been introduced. Now everyone's gonna forget like they hadn't showed up in our universe prior for years and years, and they're just gonna. I feel like they're just gonna let it like wash back and like they just won't know.
I think it links back to Loki again, because I think what's gonna actually happen is that Sylvie started the multiverse. She created everything. She's the reason we're getting Toby. And what's going to happen is, by the end of it, by the end of Phase 4, we're going to hear of the Timekeepers and the sealing of one sacred timeline. And that sacred timeline will have everything that we need in the future. So it's going to have all the mutants. It's going to have X-Men. It's going to have fucking Fantastic Four. It's going to have the Toby universe back. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4. It's going to have everything. Punisher, fucking Blade, everything.
We didn't even make it 90 minutes. We didn't even make it 90 minutes, and you've said Toby twice. Bro,
Yeah, and I'll say it 10 times more.
That's very risky for me, for them to bring everyone in through the multiverse, like to set up like where have they been this whole time? Because
Yeah.
I
That's
feel like
like
that could be
Flash.
so unsatisfying as a
but
viewer.
I really
it
think that's
makes
how
me
to do it.
nervous.
Just way
That's what
too
ruined
much
the
of an
Flash to
overload.
me. Is they opened the multiverse in the Flash, and then it just felt like they started just throwing people in like a handful
yeah.
of sprinkles, and it was
Yeah.
like, I don't care about this anymore.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but I think that's how that's the only way in my eyes how it works. Like, how else does it make any sense? Like,
I think
unless you have
Fantastic Four
Xavier. Go on,
could
sir.
very like Fantastic Four could have a really cool way.
Oh, yeah.
I
Theirs is
always
easy.
thought they should have a timepiece where it's like you do like a 1950s movie, like a Captain America style thing, and that's where you get them, and like that's why they're such an old school family. That's why they feel like that Americana, like the nuclear family still. And then you have them they go on a mission because of Doctor Doom, whatever the fuck it is,
Yeah.
where they get trapped inside of the quantum realm. And then like they get brought out of it. I think that would be the coolest thing ever.
Wasn't
But
it in like
when-
the original movie where they did like solar flares or some bollocks when they were in space, and that's what gave them their
Yeah.
powers? Like, they could do something like that, and then it doesn't have to go anywhere near any of the mutants or anything. They just
Right.
they have their own event, and I think that's what they'll do for them, because that's an easy cop out. You know what I mean? You just have like some sort of a space event, and that makes them. But I think
Yeah.
there's not very many ways that you can get away with doing the X-Men and have it to make sense that it's been there in existence the entire time.
Yeah.
Well, like episode 5 really could have started like adding additional references just so that you can tease it and kind of like spoon feed us a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
We could have had the wheelchair for like Charles's wheelchair there. We could have had Magneto's helmet. Could have had like little tidbits, just little tiny teases to get us more like oh my god, they're slowly but surely letting us know we are aware the X-Men are coming. We want you to be aware that we're still thinking about it.
Yeah, and we know it's got to come up quick,
Yeah.
because one, like Namor is like rumored to be the kid in the Eternals, and Namor is going to be in Wakanda,
Yeah.
the next Black Panther movie. So
Yeah.
like we
All
know the
the-
mutants are here before you know it, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be the multiverse.
Neymar?
It's got to be the multiverse.
You mean are you talking about the football player?
No,
No.
Oh,
He's
I
like
was like,
he's
if
like
he's
he's like
saying
he's like
Neymar, all
Aquaman.
the-
He's
okay.
he's Aquaman of the MCU.
I
Basically.
thought you mean
name-
like the football player who
Oh, I
got
thought you were
Neymar
cast.
Jr.?
I thought you were pulling my leg.
No, I thought you were pulling my leg. I was like, is he saying
I
Neymar
was like,
bad on purpose?
Like
All
Kyle's
the
on a fucking roll tonight, bro. Like he's fucking roasted everyone.
This motherfucker's about to get banned.
He's an Atlantean. He's
That
a
was
mutant,
ignorant.
man. Like, and he's gonna be in Wakanda. He's
Okay,
gonna be
okay.
like the villain of Black Panther 2. We'll see if he's really the villain or not. But
Okay.
he is like Aquaman. Like he is the king of Atlantis.
They have a
but he's
big feud with Wakanda in
Yeah.
the comics.
I-
Big feud.
Can he
like-
beat?
Yeah.
Can he beat what's his name in a fight? Khal Drogo. Can't think of the actor right now. Can he
yeah,
beat him?
he
A
could.
Mimosa.
Yeah, Namor wiped the floor. Yeah.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Momoa. So-
Who did they cast for him
Momoa.
again? I can't think now.
Someone, I don't think he's a known actor.
For Namor?
Like known.
Yeah.
He's I think he's a Mexican actor actually, right?
I,
Or he's
I,
of some
yeah,
Spanish
I
descent.
don't think I've ever seen him before. But there's a lot of people like speculating that maybe he'll kill T'Challa, and it's like, boom! Like, could you imagine like they write a
Holy
storyline in
shit.
where it's like he killed the king of Wakanda, and that's what starts the war with them in Wakanda, like, and it's, woo! Like that
Or
would hit so
someone,
hard
like,
in the real world though.
Frames
I
them,
don't-
right? Someone
Yeah,
frames
yeah,
Namor
yeah,
for
yeah,
killing.
yeah. And it's
That would
Kang.
be great.
I wonder-
Kang.
dude,
Because Kang,
I wonder-
Kang kills Black Panther in the
Kang.
comics. He kills him in the comics. He kills him in the comics.
Yeah.
We just gotta
Yeah.
redo everything about from WandaVision. That one song, like it was Kang the whole time.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, I think that's what's gonna happen. Like, we have all these like variants of Kang and stuff. Like, it's gonna be. I think this is gonna be where it goes. Like, Kang's gonna be sprinkled in everywhere, and you know, it could actually be he kills Black Panther, and then maybe he frames Namor, and then that gets the war going with them. But yeah, like
Yeah.
I really see Kang popping up everywhere, absolutely everywhere. The seeds of destruction. Exactly.
You think
exactly.
with the mutants that they gotta make it like the mutant gene makes them live longer? Like Namor's gonna be a long living person, just inherently.
I like that.
And they make it like Charles Xavier like lives a long time. Magneto lives a long time, so he's still born before World War II, and he goes through the concentration camps. But he lives forever. Wolverine lives a long time.
Yeah,
I
like
think
that,
they're gonna
yeah.
make that like an inherent power.
I
And
like
then
it.
you could have it like the events of whatever like spark the mutant gene, right? But then you still have these characters who have had the mutant gene activated, just not on a huge scale.
Yeah, I really like the story, like the theory that I heard that the mutants have been around the entire time, but they've all decided to stay in hiding to protect themselves, and Xavier's hidden them from the world. And then it's kind of like the multiverse breaking, for example, is the thing that the trigger that Xavier needs to be like, okay, shit, we need to introduce ourselves to the world. We need to help this, like, you know. Or you get like a
and the Eternals.
Yeah, when that's like, and again, like the Eternals trailer, like, you know, it's like we haven't intervened until now. People were thinking that it was some, like, you know, that was because of Thanos. They're not talking about Thanos at all. They're talking about what's just happened in Loki. This is why they're intervening now. And I think, maybe that's why Xavier decides, okay, let's flip the switch. Let's introduce ourselves to the world because they need us. Or you flip it another way, and it's like, maybe there's a variant version of Xavier that comes from a different universe, and then our Xavier kind of has to kick into action or something like that. Like, you know, it could be anything like that. I like the idea of them hiding in plain sight because I just love, and this is just me, or maybe it's just me, maybe it's not, but I just love when you see characters show up in the older movies and they've been there the entire time but we didn't know it. I fucking eat that shit up, bro. I love it. Like, you know, like and I've just always wanted to see that scene. Like, we've talked about this before, but like, you know, that opening scene to the X-Men Origins movie with Wolverine where he's going through the wars. I would just love to see him arrive in World War II and Steve Rogers is there, and like they don't talk to each other, but like, you know, Wolverine is in the background the entire time and they just kind of CGI him into one of the scenes from the original movie, and then it's just, again, it just plays with the whole everything is connected, and I fucking love that shit, man. And I just think that would just pop off something beautiful. And it's like, you know, maybe you do the whole kind of mind wipe thing again, like Wolverine doesn't know he's a mutant or something, and maybe he's hanging around in Madripoor. Again, it's all just kind of bringing back everything. Like, you know, you bring Madripoor back into it. Maybe that's where he's been hanging out. He's been a street fighter in Madripoor, like kicking the shit out of everyone.
He's in Budapest.
Or Budapest, yes. Pest.
I have a quick statement from Daniel Richter's the guy who played Ursa Major. You want me to read it to you?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
All right. So he wrote, Marvel Black Widow is out. After 2 years, I can finally tell who my character is. Ursa Major, the first mutant from the X-Men to appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Ursa is part of the Winter Guard, noted for being Russia's answer to the Avengers. His power transforms him into an incredible bear, transcending the Hulk in size. Ursa appears many times in the comics fighting Wolverine and the Hulk. When production on set told me who I really was in Black Widow, I let some tears in my hotel room because my movie dream became true. Being an official comic book superhero, I can only hope Marvel will bring back Ursa in full form.
Yeah.
Imagine how he felt when he saw the director's cut and he got his arm broke like a little beach.
Yeah.
And then David Harbour looked at him and said, "What, are you gonna cry?" And then everyone laughed at him.
Yeah, he was made a joke in that film. He was literally a joke in that film. And Marvel keep doing this, bro. They keep just making fun of characters and doing shit like this, and it's just weird to me, bro. It's weird.
We'll make it slap harder though if he shows back up
bro.
though. It sets him up for cool flashbacks for like him to show up and be like, "Yeah, remember when I got my arm broke?" Well, but still at the same time, it's disrespectful. Like the amount of disrespect to so many different characters, like Mandalorian, this one.
I think that Marvel doesn't know how to write. Like, there's an MCU comedy routine, right, where it's like they can take shots at each other and kind of make fun of who they are, and there's really good directors who can do that. And then there's Marvel trying to reproduce that, and they just miss the mark because Drax the Destroyer is a kind of a joke within the film, right? Like he says things that are really dumb and but he's being serious. Like he's serious, but it's kind of made fun of. But then he has moments where he just shows up and he's a fucking animal, right? Mm-hmm. And they don't have that for like Red Guardian, where Red Guardian doesn't really do much. He doesn't actually beat anybody, but he just made a joke the whole time. So like they should make it where like these people can have a joke, but then a scene or two later they're just like they're the fucking Red Guardian. Like Red Guardian could take Taskmaster. Like they could take him, bro. Like
he totally could.
And
that's the thing is like they made him out to be such a has-been. It's like why? Like at the very least, even if he never did fight Captain America, I would have loved a part where it would have been like a I think Finto might have mentioned this too. Like I think that's where I get it from. like a dream kind of sequence where like or like a flashback of him being like, I fought Captain America and he thought he bested me and I took him down and he had to escape or something like that. And,
Well, here's the thing with that. I was just about to bring this up. Thank you for bringing this up, Alex. So in that scene, he's talking about fighting Captain America in 1983, right? Do you think that he's lying, or do you think that one scenario could be that he actually could have been fighting like a time traveling Steve Rogers maybe during like the putting the stones back or something, or which would be fucking it'd be epic. Like that'd be so cool because it's like he doesn't strike me as the guy who's just like a bullshitter. Like, you know, I feel that what he's saying is true. Another person that I was watching another breakdown and somebody said in the chat, what if it was fucking Isaiah Bradley? I think that'd pop.
Don't think that timeline lines up, but I like the thinking where like it could have been another person who was a super soldier that they give Captain America mantle to, but it's like it's the Cold War, so it's all like under the radar, right? It's like covert, where they didn't really acknowledge who Isaiah Bradley was as Captain America, and like there could have been another thing there. But yeah. I don't think the timeline lines up for Isaiah, but I love the idea of it.
Yeah, I think he's telling the truth. Like, I don't think he's making up bullshit, like, just to kind of brag. He doesn't need to brag. He's a super soldier, like, you know what I mean? And I just love the idea that there actually was something going on, because everyone's just like, he was in the ice, you know, you're talking shit, like. But I do think that'd be something really cool. And, like, I would love to see a Red Guardian show. I think
here's what I
give
thought
David
walking
Harbour a
out
show.
of the theater. Yeah, he should have a show. He was fantastic, bro.
Yeah, give him a
It'd
It'd be so funny, dude.
It's so good.
I went away thinking it was just like Russia propaganda, where they told Alexei that this was Captain America, and like it was just like the Russian government like creating propaganda to like film and like Brother Russia beats Captain America. So he thinks it, right?
Yeah.
But like his boss like just fooled him.
Yeah. Read Blakey's last comment in chat there. I only read that yesterday myself. It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Oh, yeah,
so good. So good.
Here's another one. Did you notice that Thunderbolt Ross was very sick looking in the show? And I think that lines up with his storyline in the comics of him becoming the Red Hulk, right? Because he became Yeah, no, I think they kind of show him looking a bit withered and stuff, and I think the story's gonna go to him actually taking his own serum because he wants to try and heal himself. He's like terminally ill or something, and then that's him becoming the Red Hulk, and then maybe that's how either the Thunderbolts will get a Red Hulk or they'll get Abomination, or maybe both. That'd be fucking wild, dude. Imagine two berserkers going around, smashing the shit out of everything, bro. Oh my god, that'd be crazy.
It's William Hurt, right? Who plays him? Yeah, William Hurt.
Yeah,
I'd have to see because he does look really old in those films right now.
Yeah,
and I don't think he looks that old in real life. So that
he looked really good in Civil War, I thought, and that wasn't that long ago. That was only like what, 2016. So that's not even it's not even 10 years ago. Like he looks like he's like I think they have him like kind of done up like that to look really old. And it's I think
you're right about that.
Yeah, it's lining up with the storyline that he's going to take the red serum, and he's going to become Red Hulk. Boom.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, we're turning Blakey into a Marvel fan. Yeah, Blakey's spitting facts at us here. I love it.
I know.
I love it. One of us. One of us.
One of us. Hey, I just saw this Loki news. Came out like 5 hours ago. Kate Herron will not return to direct Loki season 2.
Yep.
Interesting.
She actually wrote, I always planned to be just on for this. I just think I'm proud of all we did, and I've given it my all. I'm working on some other stuff yet to be announced.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think that's good that...
Do you think when the show first came, like when it first went into concept and when they started shooting the show, do you think that they had season 2 lined up and ready? Like, you know, like I don't think so.
I was telling Alex about this at one point. I don't know if it was always this way, but one point I think episode 3 or 4, when I went to go watch it, I remember it was late at night and I had a bunch of safety meetings. And I remember seeing the where it said season 1, and I was like, "Wait a second, season 1!" And then I like really quick went back to Falcon and WandaVision.
It doesn't mention anything about seasons. Or
Well, no,
do
they
they?
did. They did. They
Oh.
did both say. So then I just thought nothing of it. I was like, oh, well, then they all say season 1 and whatever. But in that moment, I had already thought I had cracked the case. I was like, wait, there's going to be more seasons? So I don't know if it was always that way. I can't remember. And maybe they had messed up and said season 1 and they went and changed it on the other two. I don't know.
Like, when
But
the fuck
I
is
remember,
season 2 coming out?
Exactly. I remember being like, wait,
2023?
why did they put season 1 for this show? And then I looked at the other two and I was like, oh, those also say season 1 and there's not going to be other
Look,
shows.
look at the release schedule as it sits right now. Loki season 2 is nowhere to be seen, and they have so
Because it was
much
unannounced.
shit. They have so much shit to work on. I don't think we get Loki season 2 till like 2023 or something.
Oh, I think we get it sooner. I think it's been announced as an unannounced project, but they couldn't have told you what the unannounced project was without that.
I don't know.
I think we get. My
Imagine
opinion
it starts
is
next Wednesday. Imagine. Oh my god! It'd be
I
really
think we
cool if
get
it
it-
happened right after Doctor Strange, but I don't know.
yeah,
if
it's
they can
after
actually do
Doctor
that.
Strange, before Spider-Man. Yes,
No.
that's
Spider-Man's there first.
Spider-Man's before Doctor Strange. I thought it
Yeah.
was.
No, Spider-Man's
Oh, Doctor
this,
Spider-Man
this December.
December, and then Strange is like
February.
That actually makes
May,
me
I think,
so
or
happy. I
Feb-
thought we had to
February.
wait until next year for Spider-Man. I'm
No
actually
way,
so happy.
bro. Fucking Spider-Man's this year,
Dude,
baby. Get ready.
This lineup is fucking nuts, bro.
It's
Like it's
insane.
legitimately
Super nuts.
It's
How do we
beautiful.
not have
It's
a
like-
trailer?
It's beautiful,
It's
bro.
every month we're gonna be getting something new
beautiful.
after August. Like it's like
We've got What
every
If
month.
next.
It's-
What If next, and
yeah,
that's actually going to be
Well, that was
fucking
in, like,
incredible.
a couple weeks.
I think it goes like what if,
think I
and
had
then
the
the next
list.
month is Shang-Chi, the next month it's Eternals, the next month it's like Spider-Man, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like
You-
coming
Yeah.
like
bang,
that,
bang,
man.
bang. But that's
and
just what happens.
This is why this is bad marketing, because out of all the things that you guys are mentioning, on September 15th
Yeah.
is no. Oh God, I just it dropped out of my head. Carnage. Let there be
Carnage.
carnage.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's
movie,
literally-
bro. Are you
it's
for
literally-
real? Tom Hardy
Yeah,
shit.
I'm for
Get
real,
out
man.
of here, bro. That
Oh,
movie's, that
boy.
movie's gonna be
Fantastic.
Oh my God.
ass, bro. It's
No.
gonna be ass.
Yeah, but Carnage
you're
is
trolling
gonna be
me.
legit.
so
Like, I think you're
bad.
You know what? I hope Toby shows up in that movie and gets slapped around. Shut your mouth.
Toby, no, it's gonna be Andrew's. That's Andrew's universe. Wait and see. Wait and see.
We'll see. Dude, I had a fuck. Is this
But
it?
the-
No, man, I had a release schedule for like everything coming up in the MCU, and I was blown away that it's like month after month after month. It's like it's coming like quick right now.
I don't
Bro.
have the release schedule, but I have like upcoming things that are in the works right now.
Hang on, I just want to have a look at
What is
this.
She-Hulk then?
I'm bringing something up here. So
Also, Finto, I put some stuff in the Discord for like all the stuff that I had mentioned.
nice.
Holy moly!
So I'm just bringing up something here. This is like Rotten Tomatoes.
Can we get Jared Leto out of the superhero movies, please? Thank you.
So we got Eternals, no, Spider-Man, What If, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Doctor Strange 2. This isn't in any order. Thor: Love and Thunder, She-Hulk, Wakanda Forever, The Marvels, Guardians: The Holiday Special, Ant-Man 3, Guardians 3, Fantastic Four, Blade, Deadpool 3, Captain America 4, Moon Knight, Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Armor Wars, Groot. It's just fucking insane. And then there's an unentitled Wakanda show as well. Like that
Wait,
is
what?
fucking
I don't
nuts.
know what Moon Knight is.
Moon
There's
Knight
a-
he's like the
He doesn't
he's
know
like
who he is.
he's like the Batman of fucking the MCU.
Oh, I
basically.
think I've seen pictures of him. Yeah.
Here's the official time. So September 3rd, Shang-Chi. November 5th, Eternals. Spider-Man on December 21st. Then Doctor Strange is actually March. I thought it was February. May. Oh, jeez, I didn't even realize Thor was that close. Holy shit! It's like
Oh, yeah, it's
there's
this
like
year, right?
2 months between Doctor Strange and Thor. That's insane.
Oh yeah,
And then
yeah.
Wakanda's like 2 months after that. And then we got the Marvels next November. Oh my god.
Yeah, man. I
2023
wish I could find
for
this
the next
graphic, man.
Kang thing.
You guys hear?
That's
It's
Margot-
nuts, bro.
That's a long
Margot
time
Robbie
away.
dropped the Harley Quinn role.
Yeah, but she did 2 movies in a row. She says she needs a break. Like she's not dropping it. I think she just needs to.
I
take
need
a
a
break.
break.
The world does need a break. It's you know
We
you've
get
got
it.
you've got Birds of Prey. It wasn't a great movie. It was okay. It's not something I'm gonna like. It doesn't have rewatch value for me, but it was I enjoyed it. But
Yeah.
and I think the Suicide Squad movie is gonna be fucking fantastic. But I think like we take a break from Harley Quinn for a couple of years after that. I think we maybe like establish a new Batman universe and then boom, just drop her in there.
She's
Again,
not that interesting without the Joker, man. Like
that's what I mean. We get a Joker back, and then
Yeah.
you know you bring her back to maybe get revenge on a Joker or some fucking bullshit. I don't know. Or again, you know, Flashpoint just changes everything, and then you could drop her in with a completely different actor as Joker, and you just start all over again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Liam, I love that you hate Tom thing as well. Oh, that's fantastic.
What does he hate?
He hates Tom Hardy. I love it. He's such a one-dimensional actor to me. Like, he has an American accent where he sounds like he's mentally challenged, and then he has London accent, which is just his accent, and that's all he can do. He has two little shows, and why he was good in fucking Batman, it was because he had a mask on his face and he couldn't even talk. Like, fucking bullshit. Chap's 5'7". Sit down. Shut up.
How tall's Toby?
What?
How tall's Toby?
I'm gonna find out right now.
He's not a 6-footer, I'll tell you that.
Doesn't need to be. To be
apparently-
aerodynamic as Spider-Man, he should be short.
I mean, have you heard about how short like what's her name Pew is? The new Black Widow? Like she is like 4'8",
she's
bro.
yeah, she's tiny.
It's okay for girls to be small. He's 5'8".
Except for She-Hulk. We need
How
She-Hulk
dare
to
you,
be as
bro.
big as possible.
Yeah,
dare
you're talking
you.
shit about
This guy
someone
gets-
5'7".
And he gets a fucking symbiote on him, bro. Okay?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll never fall for the whole Tom Hardy thing, bro. I just think he's nah. You see one or two things he's good in, and it's like, yeah, it's cool. But then like you see him just doing the exact same role in something else, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Hey, at least he has other roles. Name all the other roles Toby's got since Spider-Man.
Thank you.
He's actually taken a career break because he had pretty much a mental breakdown.
For 20 years?
Yeah, I would too. He's got all the money in the world. Why the fuck would he act? There's no need. I'd be chilling like a villain.
I love how Toby's always got a defense.
Toby's a king, bro. And Andrew's a king as well. I'm actually going to put a poll in the chat here. This came up on a podcast I was watching, and I want to get your view on this. Oh
It's
my
gonna be
God.
which
I can't wait
which
for this.
Spider-Man's the best? Toby,
I
Toby, or Toby?
can't wait for your answers on this. Like I heard some people go into a deep debate about this. I don't think it's going to be a deep debate here, but here we go. What do we think of this poll, guys? Give me your honest.
Who wins? Toby, Andrew, or Tom? I'm gonna say Tom Hiddleston. I'm gonna say Tom Hiddleston beats them
Yep.
all up because
it's Andrew.
like, his suits are so much stronger, man.
Yep.
Way
Who
stronger.
do you say? You say Tom Holland?
Tom Hiddleston. Yeah.
No, you're saying Tom Hiddleston. That's Loki. Tom
Not
Holland.
Hiddleston,
Tom Holland.
I mean,
Holland.
Loki could probably.
Loki
beat
could be. Loki does win, of course.
Yeah.
Loki beats them all.
Not if it's the current version of Loki. Fucking-
Yeah, not. But yeah,
Oh
Tom,
man,
Tom wins.
wouldn't it be so bad if you saw Spider-Man literally like web sling Loki and do the same thing he did to Hulk?
Nobody's voted for Toby. I feel so sorry for Toby.
Because we all know the truth.
He's like,
oh, he's rich.
Someone
He'll
voted for
die.
Toby. How dare they?
Yeah, don't worry.
it was Blakey only because they share the same first name.
Whatever. Pinto's on
Yeah.
a burner account on his phone.
Imagine, yeah, I'm just like,
Yeah. Let me do this underneath here real quick. Oh man, what do you guys think this is?
yeah, sorry, I gotta go to the toilet, guys. I'll be back in 1 minute. Like, new follower. Imagine.
You see follow bots, and all of a sudden you see
Yeah.
Toby just like go skyrocketing.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, bro.
I mean, I'll say this: Toby's Spider-Man has felt the most like Spider-Man out of all of them. Andrew Garfield did a good job, but he wasn't awkward enough. He wasn't enough of a Peter Parker to be a good Spider-Man, right? Like I
the
thought he was a good
supporting cast
Spider-Man.
Was shit for Andrew.
And then Tom Holland here, I think just his Spider-Man doesn't feel like Spider-Man because they haven't been in New York proper yet.
Yeah,
And at the very end of the movie,
He's
when
not
he was in
he's
New
not
York
Spider-Man
finally,
yet.
I was like, this is it. This is
Yeah,
it. Like
yeah.
that feels like Spider-Man.
Yeah, I when watching that film, and that very last scene, I remember thinking to myself, "Oh my God, this is the first time after all this time. This is the first time we're seeing him web sling through Manhattan. Like it's insane."
Yeah.
A lot like it's. I don't see. I think like Tom is very limited by all this Stark tech. I think it damages him more than it helps him. He's been shown to be intelligent. Like when he's talking to Mysterio about the like kind of multiverse and stuff, and he starts talking about the Big Bang and everything. The kid's intelligent. We know this, but like the most intelligent Peter Parker is definitely Andrew Garfield. He is a proper scientist, and I think, and this is what a lot of people were saying, and I fully agree with it. I think if you were to put the three of them against each other, I think Tom relies too much on the Stark tech. Andrew's too intelligent, and he'll figure out how to actually best the Stark tech because he'll be able to make his own tech and actually use his smarts to actually outwit Tom. And then Toby has his age and his experience and everything, but I think Andrew is the best. Andrew
You're telling me Andrew Garfield Spider-Man is smarter than Tony Stark? There's no way, bro.
No, he's
no way.
Smarter than Tom Holland. We're not talking about Tony Stark.
Yeah, no, but Tom Holland has Tony Stark suits.
Yeah, but
at the very least,
hold up. Let's not glaze over that. He says all these. He's like, oh, Tom has these suits. Andrew's really smart, and Toby's got some experience, and he's kind of cool, and he just moves on really quick.
No, he does. That's it.
Fine.
Like he's been on his own, and he is smart as well, but. Does his experience trump everything else? Probably not.
Well, technically speaking, Toby can outlast both Andrew and Tom because of his ability to organically create webs.
Yeah, that was another thing.
So if it was a long game, like Toby would eventually win because it's still shoot webs.
Tom survived the snap from the Infinity and they can all shut their mouths.
He didn't. He died.
No, but he came back. He survived.
Oh, but they all came back.
But I think what you were saying, Finto, is like Tom is still a little too adolescent. Yeah. And
he's not Spider-Man yet.
Andrew's kind of the middleman. Like it's a nice little fitting.
I feel like Andrew got screwed. His supporting cast. I feel like the supporting cast in Andrew's movies was the worst.
Garbage. It was
so bad.
I like Emma Stone.
Yeah, me too.
I like Emma Stone.
I mean Emma Stone was great. I'm talking about like anybody else that could have been a supporting cast for him.
The Harry Osborn. Oh my god.
That was so horrible.
Bad.
That was
Jamie Foxx
garbage.
was so fucking shit. I can't believe he's coming into the MCU. Like he was the first one to get announced to come into the MCU. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about Electro like at all. Like this is awful.
And Jamie Foxx isn't a bad actor. Like that's
I know. Well, like Jamie Foxx is a good actor, but it's like he just can't do that. You know, there's some actors that just can't do it. They're hired and they've got the name and they've got like the reputation and the fans, but like they just can't do it. And even when he played the scientist, like before he gets the powers, I just thought he played the role really bad. Like he's all jittery and I just didn't like it at all, bro. I can't. Andrew won the fucking poll. Let's go.
Part of me thinks that although Jamie Foxx is a great actor, sometimes you just can't win over the writing. Like there's no way to fix it.
Those movies are so fucking bad.
Have you seen the show Loki?
If you put Andrew into like Toby's movies and imagine how that would sit. Like I think that'd be really cool. Like I think Andrew's the best. Andrew's the best Spider-Man, and he's the best Peter Parker. I honestly think he was the best.
He would have done,
but his movies were the worst.
Done good in the current iteration. I feel like he just got screwed timing wise.
Yeah,
I feel like
the Sony deal fucked it all up.
Literally, like I go back and watch when he announced that at the Comic-Con when he was gonna be Spider-Man, and I feel sad for him.
Yeah,
like he was so emotional and so like it was his dream, and now get wrecked, nerd.
Yeah.
I mean, the scripts were terrible. Not only did they have bad characters, they had bad moments that like didn't work either. Like Tobey Maguire's, like especially the first one, man. That movie works so well because there are moments that make Spider-Man feel like he is part of New York and New York is part of him. Like New York is in that suit. Everyone's rooting for him. People help him. Like he feels like he's part of that city. Like he's part of the DNA in New York, and we just have not gotten that.
So Tom's missing. There's no friendly neighborhood Spider-Man out of Tom.
No.
He's just
Spider-Man. And that's a problem. And the reason why that is because the world has everybody else. It's had the Avengers. It's had everyone. So it's like, oh, there's a little kid going around in a tracksuit pretending to be a superhero. Yeah, whatever. Who the fuck cares? We have fucking Thor, like, you know. And I think why Toby's movie works so well is that like in that universe he is the one and only. There's nobody else. And I just think everyone just focuses on Spider-Man, you know, whereas now it's just like oh yeah, there's another hero, that's pretty cool.
But I think that's why it could work even more, and why they've really missed the mark with it is like even though there are Thors and Captain Americas and Iron Mans and bigger than life characters who are huge and galactic, this is your neighborhood friendly Spider-Man who's looking out for the little guy.
Well, that's
Spider-Man
why
is.
Daredevil works so well for that reason.
Right?
I thought it was
all the Hell's Kitchen heroes are amazing. Like, and yeah, you're right. I think like like Homecoming plants the seed that he wants to stay in the small neighborhood, like, but I think everything that happens kind of just pushes him out into the world. He's kind of forced out, and he's not ready. Like, he says it himself.
Yeah.
He's like, he's not ready, and he's still to this day not ready. So that's why I think Toby comes in and Andrew comes in, and I think the two of them are going to help develop him into a much better Spider-Man. Like, by the end
Hopefully.
of Doctor Strange 2, I think we have a mature Peter Parker. And then
I think
they bring in Miles, and then he becomes Miles's.
I'm nervous about it because they're making it so larger than life and making it about the multiverse and not making it about like New York and a smaller story, which I feel like they just need to do. They need to have a New York Spider-Man. Like that city defines Spider-Man, you know, like it's a character in itself, and this thing's going to be huge. Like, you know, New York in Endgame, they're in Endgame, but it doesn't really feel like they're in New York. It's just like, it's a destruction place where they can destroy the stuff. It's like in Avengers, where New York just feels like a playground for them to destroy stuff. There are just movies like the original Spider-Man that take New York and take it down to a street level and make you really feel like the city's alive and the city's a character and you care about the city.
Yeah.
And they're gonna miss that mark again, I think, with Tom in the newest one, because it's just gonna be about the multiverse.
I love that. Like, it's always been, for me, Spider-Man's always been my favorite superhero, just because you know, he's a kid, he's very human, he makes mistakes, you know, and he has like redemption stories and stuff, and I just think like he's very relatable, and I think that, like, I love all the multiverse stuff that happens, but I think you're right in what you're saying. We're not getting the proper intro like we did in the other movies. Like, even Andrew's movies, as flawed as they were, we still got the origin. We still kind of saw him at the street level. We still saw him become Spider-Man more so. And I think if you were to get a third movie with Andrew, or even Andrew just stepped in, if they had figured all the real world shit out and we didn't even get Tom, we got Andrew just instead, like, I think that could have actually played off a lot better. Because I'm not taking anything away from Tom Holland. I actually love him as Spider-Man. I nearly cried the first time I saw the suit, because I thought it was the worst fucking thing I'd ever seen, coming from Andrew's suit to Tom's suit. I genuinely thought it.
So clunky,
I thought it was a joke. I thought Marvel were like fucking bonering us before we even knew what a boner was. Like, I thought we were getting bonered. Like, and
Bro, this
are you talking about the prototype suit, or are you talking about
his first his first, like, his Civil War suit, the first one that Tony makes from? Do you remember when you saw the very first promo for that movie, when he flipped in and he's like, "Hi guys"? I actually nearly started crying. I could not believe. I was like, they've destroyed Spider-Man. Like, I couldn't believe it.
It has like no flow to it, you know.
It's really fucking weird. The eyes were so weird. No,
the eyes were trash.
It's grown on me a lot now. I don't even bat an eyelid to it now. But I'll never forget that first reaction when I saw it. I was honestly nearly in tears. Like, I just could not believe it. It was so bad. But could you imagine if they gave, like, just Andrew? They just brought Andrew in somehow. Oh, that would have been so cool.
I mean, I understand, Finto. It's tough when they massacre your boy. I mean, I remember watching Eric Bana.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they fixed his suit a lot too, especially in like Endgame and Infinity Wars, where they make the spider a lot bigger. I think the hardest part about his suit is like his spider's so tiny.
I like
his
the
spider's supposed to be like.
I do like it all now. I love how it's a drone and stuff. I think it's cool. Like, I love the whole tech side, but it was it was very much so. I needed to watch the movie once or twice. I needed to see it in action to really fall in love with it. But that first announcement trailer, Jesus Christ, man! Oh my! I couldn't believe it.
Now, in terms of villains, like which two do you believe are better, Toby's villains or Tom Holland's? Because I think they're separate, but at the same time, I see
Toby's.
Like
all day Toby.
You think so?
All day Toby.
I mean,
Alfred Molina is Doc Ock.
Woo! That Doc Ock is still
Willem
my favorite
Dafoe.
Spider-Man villain.
Willem Dafoe as well.
Well, that's
So
the thing. Is
good,
like I just like, that's the thing. I wanted to say that those in my opinion, those are campy villains. Like, the way that Sam Raimi did it, they're campy, they're fun. Like, I didn't really take them seriously, to be honest. Like, maybe Doc Ock.
You didn't take Doc Ock, I would say.
I was gonna, Doc Ock was a little more serious, but literally, like, Green Lantern, finish it, finish.
Listen, Willem Dafoe is
I love the cheese, bro. I love it. So
Look
Like,
at
literally-
Vulture though. Vulture's such a good villain in the story. The way they tie it back into the daughter,
Yeah.
like it's so good. Like I
The
love
bit where
the way
the
Michael
bit
Keaton
where
plays
Tom
him.
Holland answers the fucking door, and it's Michael.
Oh, it's
Michael
so
Tigner.
good.
I fucking shit myself in the cinema. I was like, what? I didn't see it coming at all. That was a fucking fantastic twist. Did not see it coming at all. It was fantastic. But and I think Vulture is great, but I think that's Kevin Feige. That's the MCU. That's the whole hype train. That's everything that's built up to that. Like if you were to put Toby's movies now, like they would have done those movies in the exact same. Like I'm sure, you know, Sam Raimi would have done the same scripts and everything, but those movies would have just been fucking god tier if they were released now. Could you imagine they were released now, like with our fucking CGI, our villains, our casting, everything? Oh my god, it would be so good. Yeah,
100%. Also, correct me if I'm wrong. The scene where they, where Vulture drops off, you know, Zendaya's character MJ into the prom, and he's like, "I'm just gonna have a talk with Peter." Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he pull out a gun?
Yes, yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Gun comes out of the glove box.
And I was like, you know, as much as you guys have said that you know the Tom Holland universe didn't really put it on the ground, that was the moment where I felt like that was like literally the ground. Like the dude pulled out a gun and was like, "I will fucking shoot
If I was
you,
Peter
man."
Parker there, and I'm not being funny, right? If I was Peter Parker there, I would have actually kicked him out of his own car. How dare you fucking pull a gun on me? Like I'm a fucking superhero. Like he doesn't even have the suit. He doesn't even have the suit. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Tom
true.
Holland
Could
have grabbed him by the throat and just fucked him out of the car. Like I would have been like, "Don't even dare pull a gun on me again." I was like, my secret is not going to be shared with your daughter, but don't fucking try pull a gun on me, you fucking piece of shit. I would have made him eat. I would have made him eat a steering wheel, bro. Seriously, like don't even try that shit.
Kicks him out of the door, adjusts his lapel, and like just you know struts his way inside, and then credits.
Yeah. Oh, bro, like seriously, that's so funny. That is so funny. But yeah, I didn't get that in the movie because I actually said that when I was watching it live. I turned to my girlfriend and I said, "Could you imagine someone fucking trying that with me if I had super fucking powers? Like I'd actually kill them. Like I'd honestly just snap their neck. Like the Irish coming out of
Then you're not a hero, sir."
Well, he is a high schooler. I think they write it around because he's a high schooler. He's in over his
He's
head,
just
you know?
kind of scared.
Yeah.
He's kind of scared someone's pulling a gun on him. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I thought that scene was fucking stupid. Like,
I mean,
do you know what I mean?
and then going back to the point where like sometimes they really do their villains wrong. Although I did like the fact that they made Shocker into a whoever holds his basically a Thor hammer. Whoever holds his power glove is basically a freaking Shocker.
I loved when Michael Keaton throws the glove. I was like, "Hey, you're the Shocker now." Like, you know, it's just like so irrelevant. Like, you know,
and I'm totally fine with that. I think it's funny. But if we were to like be like, "Oh man, like they did Shocker wrong," I don't know. I don't really like think about Shocker when I think of Spider-Man.
He was cool in the '94 cartoon series. Shocker was really cool. He was really cool. I loved him in the old games as well. He was always such a hard boss to beat in the games because like those electric beams would just be flying all over the place. So good.
Also, one of the things I really love about Spider-Man villains is like a majority of them are animal or bug based.
Yeah, it's this is just fucking comic book writing though, isn't it? This is what it is. Like, you know, it's like you got a Spider-Man. It's like you gotta have the villains are like just like insects, scorpion, and all this sort of shit. Like, you
got Rhino, Chameleon, Scorpion,
Dragon
Vulture.
Ball Z when they named them after vegetables: Raditz, Kakarot.
Don't ruin DBZ for me. All right, Piccolo.
Did you see how much money Black Widow was making in the opening weekend and stuff? Are you into Are you into the whole kind of financial side of movies? I love it, bro. I eat it up like. Love it.
I like the idea of it, like just tangentially, but I hate when people like bring it up like it's a success because of how much money it's making. I'm like, bro, I'm a film watcher. Like, I'm not a fucking executive. I don't care how much it makes. Like, is it a good movie or a bad movie? Like, I do like paying attention to it.
Yeah, I love seeing how much money like movies make, but yeah, I don't determine box office on like on a film, like the actual, like, I don't measure the movie on the box office, like, but it is definitely
Right.
important.
But as a fan, it's good to pay attention though, because knowing as a fan, like if they kill it on money wise, doesn't matter what people think about it. There's gonna be another
100%.
Yeah.
Well, like,
Right. Yeah.
so
the revenue makes the sequel.
they do the global box office, they do like a domestic box office, which is like your guys, like the American box office, and then they'll do like America. And then they'll do like a now they're doing a Disney Plus side of it. So there's actually a new kind of meter that they're reading now. So I believe it did like 60 in the opening weekend in America. Then globally it did another 75 on top. But here's the most interesting is it did 60 by itself on Disney, and that full 100%. So the full 60 mil goes to Disney. So they made 100% of that. Like they'll lose probably 40% of all the ticket sales because they got to pay for all the theaters to show it and everything else. Oh, it's massive for streaming if that's what you're into.
Because that means they're gonna keep offering that as an option.
100%.
I'm so happy with that. I would love that.
I was kind of scared because a lot of like, especially with like HBO's announcements, when they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna put these movies on HBO Max," and then they made it seem like they were gonna stop and not do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I think Disney is gonna be like, "Yeah, we're making more money just streaming it anyway."
Yeah, like again, for a lot of people, like, I think, there's people that are like, oh no, I don't like streaming because it's going to destroy the cinematic experience. And then some people are like, fuck that. I want to just watch it at my own convenience as many times as I want from the comfort of my own house. Me personally, I will always go to the cinema. Like for me, it's all about the cinematic experience. I want the food. I want to go out on the date with my girl and us just chill out and have a night out and go to the cinema, experience it on the big screen, proper sound. And then I'll probably buy it on Disney as well. Like I bought Black Widow on Disney as well, and I've watched it twice already. So it's like, for me, I'm doing both. Like I love the option to have both. I don't want one or the other. I want both. But a lot of people are a lot of people are going to just stay with the streaming now. And that's fine. But like obviously Disney are going to obviously do this because they're making so much fucking money now. It's ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
They combined the entire global opening weekend and made the same money pretty much on fucking Disney Plus, and they didn't have to do anything. They just uploaded a file onto their server. Like, it's insane. I just started charging money for it.
It's so amazing when you think about it that way.
I can't do movie theaters. I'm turning into a boomer. Like, I just get
I love it,
overly annoyed at people being dumbasses in the movie theater now.
Well, this is, I hope, what like Disney Plus taking off and like the streaming services making a lot of money should scare the movie theaters, and should, like, the movie theaters need to start catering more to people like Kyle and like me, where it's like, look, if someone pulls out their phone,
get
they're
them the
gone.
fuck out. Yeah, get them out.
Like, if someone's talking to the movie, they're gone. Like, I go to movie theaters that are like very specifically like that. Like, look, we kick you out, and like we'll trespass you. Like, we don't want you here. This is for cinema lovers.
Nobody does that over here. Like, if someone
they used to have people in my theaters even that would like monitor, and now it's just like the people don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Do whatever you want.
I hope this makes the movie theater innovate and step it up and do more and like really, do stuff for the cinema goer, because I love being in a movie theater. Like, sitting down to watch Black Widow was so good. To be in a movie theater, have the Marvel, like the studio scroll come on top, have
strap in.
open up. I'm just like, I fucking love this.
I missed it so much. Like, I was
feel
so
like
happy
I
to
need
be
to
back.
seat belt on my movie theater chair because it's like, strap in, we're getting ready for it, and then I get there. And like Drnkie said, if you're there to enjoy the movie and not just be out, like, little things kind of ruin it for you. And
Right.
Chandler just mentioned something in the chat as well, and that was going to be my very next point. Was, imagine how many people had just signed up for the first time to buy Black Widow. So they're doing a monthly subscription. So how many new users are they getting? This is data I really want to see. Like, how many new users are they getting? And how many people are going to hang around because they're going to want to watch like Loki, and then they're going to want to watch Hawkeye and so on. Like, really, really think like it's just creating so much revenue for them. It's crazy. Here's another one just before we kind of move off the money topic. How much money? Because I only heard this during the week and it blew my mind. Kevin Feige, every project that Kevin Feige's done for Disney / Marvel, how much money do you think he's pulled in for the company?
I'm saying $5.5 billion.
I'm saying 60+% of their revenue in the past 10 years. I'd say 10 billion.
$23
Worldwide.
fucking billion. $23 billion.
Billion.
$23 billion.
$1 billion man.
The guy is untouchable. He is the king. $23 billion.
What's just Favreau doing for everybody? I know he's kind of split amongst.
He kind of does a bit like he's doing it for Disney, I suppose, in
Yeah,
its entirety
Disney.
because he's doing so much more for Star Wars and for Marvel. But like that's another king of the trade. Like I respect that man so much. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Dude, I want
What
them
a
to
legend.
tag team a
I love-
project. I want them to tag team a huge project.
Oh, bro.
Favreau and Feige,
Yeah.
the two Fs.
I think
Iron Man.
they've been trying to get
I also-
Feige into
Yeah,
Star Wars,
before-
but I don't know. People are saying, some of the diehard Star Wars fans are saying, like, maybe they don't want him because
They
he's
should
not. Yeah, I don't think he should either. I think he's not really. He's outright said he's not really a Star Wars fan. To the extent that he thinks that he's going to come in and be able to like rock the world, whereas like what he's done with Marvel, I think.
I respect that so much. I respect
Yeah.
someone being honest and be like, yeah, I could take a fat paycheck here, but I'm not going to deliver the best product. I want somebody else that will do a better job than me to do it. I respect that.
Yeah.
And plus,
Big
it's
time.
a risk. Like he could totally fail there and like blow his whole mystique. Like
Oh, yeah.
he has this mythos about him right now. And he does a Star Wars film. Like Star Wars we're not going to see another good piece of Star Wars content in our fucking life. I'm sorry,
fucking
everyone.
dare you,
I
how
don't
dare
believe
you.
it. I don't believe it, bro.
They-
You're never
Book
going
of
to see a good
Boba,
one
Book of
again.
Boba, Book of Boba.
It's going to be
I think-
terrible.
I think they're gonna have to slash and burn. Like they're gonna have to
going back in time.
repopulate it.
They're going back in
I
time.
really like Ewan McGregor.
The fact that they're
Obi-Wan.
trying to like sprinkle so much Star Wars everywhere ruins what Star Wars is. Star Wars is this like just mystery of a movie. It's the big release. It's the once every 10 years we get a trilogy. And now they're just trying to sprinkle it too much. And I don't think it works. I think part of Star Wars mythos is that like it's this, the trilogies and it's this big space opera that's bigger than life, that's got all this drama. And like now there's like, yeah, here's the Book of Boba Fett. All right, we're gonna watch.
Yeah,
We're gonna watch.
They're trying to
an
fill
anime
all
series
the
about
empty
Star
gaps.
Wars.
It was like a perfectly good cupcake,
They
and
want
yeah,
their-
like I agree, like just too many sprinkles on it.
They're doing
Yeah.
they're doing a dis defrag of all the Star Wars canon out there. They want no empty spaces in between any of the stories anymore. They want to have that be a solid, huge piece
Yeah.
of content. And they're just trying to get every last dollar out of what was started in the 70s at this point.
And what they're trying to make it the MCU, right? Like obviously they're trying to like follow that business plan. And
Yeah.
what makes the MCU work, I don't think works for Star Wars. I think they're two different properties. One's based on comic books where they got this like
They're pulling from everything,
palatable
yeah.
content that just like peppers you all the time,
Were you-
versus something that is really unique and special and should be treated as such.
Did you not love Mandalorian season 2 though? Like, was that not like some of the best Star Wars content you've
No.
ever seen? For me, it
No,
was.
not at all.
For me, it was.
far and away.
Bro.
Not.
Oh no,
No,
for
like,
me
it,
it was.
wasn't even
amazing.
close to season one.
I thought it was so much better.
Season one was way better.
I don't know, bro. It's like for me, it was like seeing like animated characters brought into the real life, and just Ahsoka and
I think
Bo
season 2 had
Katan and
bigger
Luke
moments, yeah.
Skywalker coming back. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
bigger
bro.
moments, but as a whole, season 2, I don't think beat out season 1. Like
I loved
season 1 literally started this huge hype for Star Wars again, and I don't feel like we've seen that same hype since.
Nah,
Like,
I don't agree.
I think that Luke showing up is a really great moment, really cool, right? Other than that, I don't know, man. Like it just, I don't even think it gets close to anything that's as good as Star Wars. I think the whole thing with Darth Gideon, I think it looks cheesy and looks cheap. Darksaber looks fucking terrible. I think the Mandalorian character is very one note. He had one place to go, and he went to that place in the first season. So the whole second season is him trying to find something to do with his character, where he's already changed. The character of the Mandalorian is a man who is hardened by the world, who finds something that changes him in someone else, and then he's changed. Right? That's the first season. Where does he go in the second season? Taking off his helmet? He's already made that change. He already loves Grogu in the first season. That's why the second season it doesn't really work for me overall, and why they had to like bring in so many animated characters and bring back Luke and bring in all this other stuff. It's because we already saw the story that works, and that is important.
Yeah, I just think season 2 was like bridging the gap between like what Boba Fett's gonna be, and then you've got Ahsoka coming in, and I just love that they're tying up all this stuff, and then I think the next movie trilogy is gonna go way back into the past. I think that's what they need to do. They need to step the fuck away from the Skywalker timeline and just go somewhere else. Forwards or backwards, I don't care. They just got to get away from it, like by hundreds of years. 100.
They just need to cast Brie Larson to come
Thousands.
save our fucking series.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Oh my god. No.
Stop. Don't even put that out in the universe.
You
Shirky,
know
come
it's
on.
out there. You
It
know
is.
it's out there.
It is out. It is out there. It's official.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Stop
Awful.
hating on Brie Larson. She's fantastic. She's a charismatic actor who draws people's attentions, and everyone just want to like her. She's
I mean,
not
if
flat
you're-
at all.
If you
You're
think
not
of-
even convincing yourself on that.
If you think about it, Finto, we're already seeing force powers from Loki.
Yeah.
I know, dude.
I agree. I agree.
Look,
They're gonna merge. They're merging. Here's phase 5. Phase 4 we're in right now. Phase 5. Phase 4 they merge X-Men. Phase 5 they merge Star Wars. Boom.
No, it's Dominic Toretto, bro.
finally-
It's Dominic Toretto's
That's
coming in.
Fast
It's all
and
about.
Furious.
It's all about family.
Did I tell you guys about the fan theory I heard online, or the plot they could do, where they merge Jurassic Park, Transformers, and fucking Fast and Furious? So
I'm.
Back to the Future.
It's
Back to the Future,
It's $1 billion idea, bro. I mean,
bro.
I need to see it. I need to see it. I'm in.
They have Jurassic Park. They have the park. They want to go back in time. There's a dinosaur whose DNA they can't get, so they need to go back in time, right? So they hire these people who know how to drive cars, right? Because they need
course,
like people to go do some spectacle stuff.
Yes.
And like, what did they get to drive? The Transformer cars, because they can transform
my
into
God.
fucking. They can transform into like the
Dom and Bumblebee.
dinosaurs.
Dom and
Right.
Bumblebee.
And one of the
Yeah.
dinosaurs is Dom's brother.
Oh
And then
yeah.
how did they get back to the past? Oh, this is supposed to be the second part. Sorry. How did they get back to the past? Oh, I don't know. A mad scientist who created a car that can go 88 miles per hour and take them to the past. That's why they need the Fast and Furious, because they need someone to drive the fucking cars and do the thing. So good, bro.
I love it. I love it. I want it. I need it.
You know,
In the
you
end-
$2 billion.
He said, "I want it. I need it."
In the end, the only thing that matters is family.
family.
Give it. You
Four
just
franchises in one.
give that to Netflix. They fucking rubber stamp anything. Boom.
Yes.
You're made. You're sold. 100%.
Hey.
I
I
love it.
Fucking
A Netflix
Netflix is
special
working
is
with
coming up.
Spielberg now, right?
Are they really?
Yeah, they signed a deal with Amblin.
Oh, geez.
I'm ready.
Is there any more details on that? Like how many projects or?
No, they just said they're going to work alongside Universal. Like, that's their classic people, but they're still going to make stuff with Netflix. So here's hoping that we get ET2. Fingers crossed.
That's definitely a story that needs to be told.
I mean, have you ever been on the ride at Universal? Where
No.
you go back to ET's home planet?
That sounds
Never
epic.
been to Universal.
That sounds
It's
epic.
fucking cool, bro.
That sounds epic.
Drnkie, how many times have you rode that ride?
Witcher season
Dude,
2.
I can't even count, bro.
That's gonna be good. Witcher season 2.
I need to
is
go
gonna
to
be good.
Universal.
Drnkie's got a VIP pass to the ET ride at Universal.
Dude, it smells so good on that ride. Dude, they got candles that smell like ET's ride. It smells so good.
Did you see the trailer for Witcher season 2?
Yeah, I did. It's
Looks
pretty
good.
cool.
It looks cool.
Here's the deal. Witcher season 2 for me is going to be great. Is they actually treat it like Geralt's story.
Yeah,
If they
I
do it
think
like the first
that's-
season where like Geralt's a side character almost, it's stupid.
I think that's
Like-
what they're. I think I heard that's what they're doing. They're going to be really drawing on the games and the actual story in season 2, as far as I know.
They made the whole fucking first season is to get to Siri, and I'm telling you,
I
I
fucking
played
knew it. I
fucking
fucking knew it.
120 hours of video games before I got to Siri. I played 120 hours, and this one they're like, oh,
God.
5 hours. Here you go, here's Siri. It's like,
Yeah.
He's just having some breakfast and he's like, "What do you think about this series?"
Yes. Oh, dude. Yeah, I didn't really play the Witcher games, so like for me that series like was just confusing as fuck. When I found out there was like 3 timelines going at the same time, I was like, "What the fuck is happening right now?" It was crazy, dude. Like, there's like
the fact that the witches are like, or you know, all the sorceresses are like main characters and like really part of the plot and stuff. I'm like, what are you playing? Like, they are like side characters in the games. Like, they're there, but you know, and they help them out, but they're not the main focus ever.
yeah.
It was so weird, man.
I really enjoyed the first season. I thought like Henry Cavill was really cool. There's a 30-minute like making of season 1 on Netflix. I highly recommend everybody watching that. That hyped me up so much to watch the season again because I feel like there was a lot that I actually missed the first time I watched it because I was just such a fucking noob to the whole universe. I knew nothing about it because I didn't play the games, and like just listening to them kind of explain it, it's just crazy. And then you see that like Henry Cavill does all his own fucking stunts and all. I'm just like, this guy is Superman. Like it's insane, dude. Like he's such a fucking legend, and he's a PC gamer. Like he's honestly God.
Yeah, It's so much a PC gamer that even the WoW community wants him to be Arthas for like a Lich King movie, which I can see.
Dude, I saw a clip from that like WitcherCon they did or whatever on Netflix where he was like going into the lore of like Warhammer 40K. Like I was like, oh my god,
he's such a nerd. I love it.
It's fantastic, bro. He is like the best man on the planet. Like.
Have you seen him build his own computer?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yes.
He's got like the sexy music on in the background and all. It's so good, dude. It's so good. Like the porno music in the background, like it's fucking fantastic.
I saw his arm lifting up the case, and I'm like, come on, man, you could probably like lift 2 of those. For...
He'd crush it with a curl. Like, yeah, it's hilarious. What a legend. Yeah, I saw a story like one of his like nephews or something was getting bullied in school because he was told his friends in school that his uncle was Superman. And no one believed him. And he walked the kid to school one morning, like, and the kid's wearing a Superman t-shirt. Could you fucking imagine, bro? Oh, man. That'd be so funny.
I'll be just punch the kids, too.
Just give him a kick in the chin or something. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Fuck bullying, bro. Yeah, oh, man. Such a legend. Like, Henry Cavill's such a legend.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
So do we so now we have like 2 weeks, right? Do we do 2 more movie watches in the timeline?
Bro, I didn't even think about this. Yeah, what do we want to do? Like, you know,
Where did we leave off? We left off
Avengers 1. Avengers 1 was the last thing we watched. So technically next is Iron Man 3, I believe. Cause you had Tony with his panic attacks after New York. So yeah, we could watch Iron Man 3. I think that could be actually good because like I do feel like there is going to be like an Iron Lad storyline coming or whatever. What's the little kid?
And I think the first episode of What If is going to be the Iron Man one too.
Yeah.
That was yeah.
So I'm looking forward to kind of breaking down What If. I think that's going to be fucking nuts. And the fact that now with what happened in Loki, it seems like everything that we're going to get in What If, it's not just an animated series. It is absolutely part of the MCU, and I think it's going to be canon. Everything we see in that.
Yeah, they're gonna be branches.
They're gonna be branches, so everything's gonna be canon. Like, it's crazy.
Quick rundown. Does Marvel own Daredevil and Frank Castle?
Yep. They do now, yeah. And
okay, so if we don't see What If Spider-Man became the Punisher, I'm going to be mad.
We're not gonna see it.
It's
not gonna be those cool what ifs. It's not gonna be the cool.
I know.
There's some good ones.
There's a Sorcerer Supreme Spider-Man. That's on the fucking poster.
Yeah, that's true. So that probably just takes over for that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, I love the way Loki has set up the MCU. I really do.
Yeah.
I know I'm hard on the show because I just think there's so much potential that they wasted. But I do love that it kind of feels like the MCU is broken apart again, and like there's an enemy out there who's bigger than the Avengers, who's bigger than life. That like how are they going to deal with this? I think it breaks stuff up in a really cool way, man. It's like anything's possible now in a way.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous. Like a lot of Fento's ideas get me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. He's out there.
I think a lot of them are coming.
I think they might be, but I also think that even if they do come, they might not be good.
Yeah, because we've seen how they're messing up these ideas that are seemingly easy to kill and have a great product, and yet.
I saw a list here today, and I kind of saved it just to kind of talk about tonight. But they talk like in the comics. This is a list of people who Kang has killed in the comics. Thanos, yeah, he's killed Black Panther. He's killed the Timekeepers. Obviously, we've kind of seen that already.
Kang killed
Galactus.
Blames it on Namor.
Galactus, bro, I love that idea. I think that idea is fucking fire because everyone knows Kang's gonna be like the next big bad. He fucking kills Galactus in the comics, for Christ's sake. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think you bring him in and you do something like you just said there. You get him to kill Black Panther. Or T'Challa, and then you blame it on Namor and just watch those two fucking societies absolutely tear each other apart. Like, that is
destabilize the stuff to conquer it, you know?
Yeah, that is fire, bro. And he's just sitting in the background just laughing, you know? That is just, whoo! I don't know, will the MCU go that dark? I don't think they can. I think Disney is going to hold it kind of in check a bit, like, you know?
What if you just do like an Eternals post-credit scene or something? Like, Kang just shows up in Wakanda. You're like, what are we doing in Wakanda? He just fucking kills Black Panther.
And
like that's just a post-credit scene leading into Wakanda Forever.
Oh, dude, like I just
That'd be
think
sick.
it would be so sick for the story, but I think there's like a real world element to this whole thing that there needs to be a bit of sensitivity around the whole Chadwick Boseman thing, and I just don't think you can
that's a
just
hard
like
one.
butcher a character like that for a dude who actually died in real life. I love the idea.
true.
I do love the idea, but I think there's a real world element that has a part to play. But I would absolutely love, and this sounds horrible, but I would love to see T'Challa get like absolutely butchered in a movie, like just destroyed by Kang or something, and like we just see a Black Panther suit like CGI done, and it's just getting crushed or something, and then it's
Goes
like,
out a hero,
yeah, and then it's just like boom, it just starts just a war of
Yeah.
nations. Like, oh my god, bro, that is just
Because
fire.
As sad as it sounds, seeing heroes get killed is way more exciting than seeing a villain get killed.
100%.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Also,
Create stakes.
Yeah.
yeah. Also, would it be possible? Do you think it'd be possible if Bucky came back as the White Wolf? Like, do you think that they would ever do that? Do you think they would ever give him the White
want
Wolf
the-
costume?
I want it. They've called him the White Wolf.
They have.
In Falcon
Yeah,
and
I would love
Winter
to see it.
Apparently,
I
I
don't know
was.
if they give him the costume because
Yeah, I don't know either.
it's a weird looking costume on screen, maybe. But
Yeah, it's probably too bright.
I
Yeah.
want to see what the White Wolf.
They can make
But
it
they
in
got Moon
silver.
Knight coming
Yeah.
out. Yeah, they got Moon Knight
Yeah.
coming out. So
Yeah,
That's
there's our White Wolf.
I saw.
also, like Falcon looked terrible in the white helmet and
Yeah.
stuff. Like so,
I
don't
love
know.
that.
Yeah,
that
that was
edit.
rough.
That edit you did, Drnkie, of the suit actually made it pop so much better. I love
Dude,
that
just
you
make it like-
you sat on your computer for 10 minutes and made a better costume than Marvel.
Wait, where's that?
Oh,
Bro,
You have
it's
it?
so fucking funny,
Oh.
dude. It's so
I
funny.
just like recolored a couple of parts of
yeah,
it.
just
and
like
it
the
it
Kel.
works so
The
much.
Kel was like navy,
feel
right?
Like I feel like they could make that look so cool in the movie. They have to give him the costume.
They wanted to do a very comic accurate rendition of it, and
Yeah.
I respect it, but I think it's a mistake.
Yeah.
I think I like the edit that they have that looks like the Black Panther one, but white. I like something along those lines, obviously, because Wakanda makes it,
Yeah.
and then just give it its own flair.
I personally I don't see Bucky ever becoming the White Wolf properly on screen. Like I don't see him in a white Black Panther suit, if that makes sense. I think we get it. We get somebody else to take over the mantle, maybe Killmonger or the sister, and that's it. Like we still have a Black Panther, and that's just it'll just go like that. I think Bucky stays Bucky. I think we have him as Bucky the whole time. I think he partners off Sam for a while. There's apparently a story in the comic books where he has a love interest with Yelena, which I think could be very possible. That start mixing up Disney shows, and then you have a reason to bring Bucky then into Thunderbolts. He could become a member of Thunderbolts as well. Like you just wouldn't know. Like, but I think you do something like a romantic thing like that with him and Yelena. Like I think that would really pop off on screen. Like because everyone loves Bucky, and now everyone is obsessed with Yelena. Like so, you have to get a love interest going somewhere. Like it's fucking cinema 101, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hope they do. And there's a comic book storyline, right? That's
Yeah.
all about that?
Yeah. there
Yeah.
is,
So I think it works. Because they need to do something with Bucky outside of Falcon. I know like they're boys and they stick together, but I think those characters have been together for so long. I think that there's a way to make them more interesting by separating them. And who are they when they're apart from each other? Like interacting with other MCU characters.
Did you see this cancel culture bullshit for Anthony Mackie? Did you hear about
Oh
this?
yeah, that shit was
What?
hilarious. I'm down.
Really?
Fucking give daddy a sandwich, baby.
Crazy.
They turned around and basically said that they were angry with the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier because Sam and Bucky never got together. And
Yeah.
Oh God.
Anthony Mackie comes out and says, "My character is straight. What are you talking about? They're friends."
Yeah, what's going on
And
here?
like Bucky has shown like an interest in Sam's sister. He's a straight character. Like so, it's like why are you looking for like there's no like female romance in the show. So they think that they think there needs to be a fucking a couple in it. Like it's like hang on, and now you're trying to cancel Mackie because he says he's a straight character. Like it is wild, bro. I hate the internet so much. Like.
What
It's just
sort of
insane.
bromance was there? I don't remember there even being a bromance.
There is a bit, but there's nothing that even suggests slightly that they have anything to do with like an
especially-
interest with themselves, like with each
It
other.
was taken
Which
off
scene?
after that scene where like they are sitting next to each other and they interlock legs in front of the
Yeah.
Okay, I remember
like,
that.
just
yeah.
just make them kid. And like sure, like if you're a fan, like we make up our own storylines all the time. But like when a character or when the script doesn't go the way, you can't hate this. Like you can't cancel.
You can't
someone
attack
who's
the
like,
actor.
Hey,
for
I'm
it.
playing this straight. Yeah, I'm playing a straight character. Like I don't know what here. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure Falcon is in the comic books is bi, right? In the current iteration of it. And I swear to God, I think Mackie said before, like, yeah, I don't know, maybe they could do a storyline like that. But he's like now in the show, that's just not the way it is.
Yeah, I just
well,
it's just the personal attacks that I find to be the most crazy. Like, leave Anthony Mackie fucking alone. Like,
Yeah, it's just
the
it's
dude's
part of the
playing
show.
he's playing a character. He's a make believe character on a TV show. Stop attacking the fucking Anthony Mackie over this. Like,
He's still real to me, damn it.
it's just crazy. I just hate this whole cancel culture bullshit. Like, it's just fucking it's crazy.
When they go straight to the actor and said, "I hated you" and whatnot, it's like
dangerous,
so bad.
bro. It's dangerous. Like, people, these keyboard warriors have just been given a certain amount of power, and it's fucking dangerous. Like, people like this should not be allowed to have their voices heard. And I don't mean to sound too fucking severe with that, but I really think it's legit scary. Coffee Monk,
Yeah.
you're dead right. It scares the shit out of me. Like, people like this should not have a voice. I'm sorry. You don't
So,
don't
like,
deserve it.
For things like that, it makes me wonder how they're
Turtles
going to play out the
Majesty.
X-Men. Because especially in the X-Men, there's going to be some moments where like Iceman became an Omega level mutant because he came to terms with his sexuality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was able to accept the fact that he was gay, that he ultimately like embraced it and became more confident in himself, and thus was able to control like even water molecules in the air, which is like insane. Like, he becomes so fucking powerful because of his acceptance.
Once he
because
didn't have a nagging girlfriend to weigh him down, he became an Omega level mutant. The hell?
It's rough, man. But like I love stuff like that. Like, if things like that hold you back and not being able to like represent
That's
who
amazing.
you truly are.
That's amazing
It's-
storytelling. Like, that's incredible.
Yes,
Like,
it
I love
is. Yeah,
Stop
and now
but
like
stop looking for stuff that's not there. Like, it's just,
yeah.
there's no relationship with Bucky and Falcon. Like, and if there is in a
Right,
comic
yeah,
book in one shot comic, like from fucking 1975 or whatever, like, it doesn't mean that that's where the MCU are going with it. Like, there's been no hints at all to a romantic relationship between those two. Like, stop fucking clutching at straws. Like, it's crazy. They're just looking. People just look to fight for any reason. Like, it's like, let's find something wrong with Falcon. Oh yeah, there weren't a couple in it. Like, it's like, what? Just leave them alone. Like, it's just insane.
And it's people that think like the only interesting love stories that can be told are relationship love stories between two people who are into each other romantically, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's like the most boring story you can tell between two people.
Yeah.
Like a story between two guys who have this huge loss and like a guiding light in their life, and like Captain America, how they cope with that together, like through their relationship as being friends, hating each other. Like, that's a compelling story. Them getting in a relationship together would be the least interesting part of that, man. Like, it bulldozes all these other levels of things, and it's like, no, we're together now. And so I'm happy they don't go that direction. It's just it's just everyone needs like this romantic story between everyone. Like, I don't need it. Like, we talk about one of the most awkward things in the MCU, the whole Black Widow and Hulk story, relationship.
That
like,
made no
totally
sense
not
to me.
needed. And
Yeah.
like,
It
just
really
why?
wasn't.
It made no
It
sense
really
to me at
wasn't.
all.
They threw it away too.
Yeah.
They lean on it so heavy during Age of Ultron, and nothing happens.
Yeah, I thought if they were going to do any kind of romantic story, it would have been Nat and Steve. Like, because, like, they had the whole thing in Winter Soldier and all. And even Ruffalo himself says it in the movie. It's like, oh, jeez, I thought you two were a thing. And like, Steve's like, oh, yeah, like, maybe she comes across that way, but no, there wasn't or whatever. But yeah.
And if Pepper wasn't in the scene, then it would have been Iron Man and Nat, just like in the comics. But because they wanted to have like that relationship between Pepper and Iron Man, like that's how it turned out. And then I can agree with you that Cap and Black Widow would have been cool. I do, however, like I'm not saying like I want to see them in a relationship, but I do understand why, because they're both two beings that have been alienated in this world for who they are and what they represent, and they don't trust anybody. They don't trust a single soul, and to have that common denominator makes it easier for them to find a relationship amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the give. But yeah, other than that, like, we really didn't need it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just weird that it's like
they tacked it on. Like,
why it was
really
such a
didn't
fucking big deal. Like, why? Like, it's one thing if you're like, oh, I wish they would have done that, but like they make it like the cornerstone of their year. It's this like this is the hill that I'm dying on.
Oh.
Like,
Real Liam, that was definitely a romance between Nat and Hulk. She like pretty much almost cries when he goes to fly away in that ship.
It was they made it real, but like I don't think it was needed, and I don't know, man.
It just greatly upsets me.
I think they were just trying to force romance with Nat. What did she have one with Cap in the comics?
Yeah, I mean she's had a relationship with so many people. I think, right? Like,
is she the MCU sleuth?
Well, she's a femme fatale. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these comic book characters have relationships with each other.
They kind of
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
I mean, it's kind of like the What If series. It's like they want to fulfill. Well, what if they kind of want everybody to be with everybody to have that dynamic at some point?
Yeah. Well, it like one of the things I really don't like about it though is the fact that like they're really trying to shove aside Betty. Like they don't want Betty back anymore, and I'm like, really, Betty Ross.
Oh, okay.
Hulk's lady.
Hulk's actual lady.
The daughter of the only one. She was only done in the Banner one, right? In the Eric Bana.
Zaberwolf. I got to put this up on the screen.
God.
Yes,
dude, bro.
Yes.
I just looked at that now.
Real life,
right?
Oh my god, dude. I want to see him. I want to see him fight Superman.
Yo, I need to know his height weight right now. What's
the guy
his
that
height
left was
weight?
photoshopped. What the hell?
Yeah, if the guy, did they get like a 4-foot guy? How much does he weigh on the right?
I don't know, bro.
I don't know.
That's fucking
But
terrible.
That looks like
that's Daniel Richter's man.
7 foot,
This little
400
dude-
pounds. Bro.
This dude's jacked as well. Look at his arms.
Yeah.
He's jacked to fuck.
I mean, that's an understatement.
7 foot, 400 pounds, bro.
That's Wolverine right there.
Imagine.
Oh man, I'd be down with that.
Dude.
But like looking at the picture, I'm like,
this looks good.
looking at the picture, I understand that Red Guardian like broke his arm, but I'm like, how? Look at that arm.
Well, that
like
just shows,
he's Ursa Major too. Like
that just shows you how like the super soldier serum in effect, right?
it's
Oh
I
my
heard a
God.
theory for how to cast Wolverine going forward in the MCU, and I fucking love it, bro.
Do it.
All right, someone was proposing the idea that Wolverine should be casted as an indigenous person from Canada because he's been around for so long, like he's lived forever, right? Like he's got that in him, and like he's from the northern parts of Canada and the middle part, the part from I guess Flood's from, right? And so like there's not a lot of like just white dudes out there, so like he's just an indigenous guy who then has his history taken away from him by the Canadian government, just like indigenous people. Like he gets his whole history like erased, and he's just like a brutal like person of the land. I'm like, dude, that could be fucking work, bro. Like that could work.
Yo, I'm seeing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I was done.
I was just saying, Olivia Richter's is 7'2". He is 7'2". He is known as the Dutch Giant.
Yeah, it's insane.
Oh
bro.
my God, he's only 31 too.
Usually when you see people when you see people that are that tall as well, they're like they're not that jacked. Like, they're kind of like skinny
they're like
and just
skinny and wonky.
Yeah, like basketball players or whatever. But like that guy,
he's only 31.
dude,
I know
it's insane. He needs to.
I know he's Ursa Major, but I would totally love for him to like just slap a whole bunch of green paint
That
on him
actually
and wear some
makes
purple
me-
shorts.
That makes me hate the movie so much more that they had potential to have this fucking dude potentially have a actual badass fight scene with Red Guardian, where maybe like they're fighting normal and then it pushes him to start to transform, and then we're all like, wait, what was that?
Yeah.
Or something like that, and then he breaks his arm, and then he stops. The breaking his arm stops the transformation type thing or something. That would have been so much cleaner.
Yeah.
Oh my, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
7'2", dude. That's not photoshopped at all, apparently.
7'2" and 400 pounds. Were you saying?
No,
that what you
I
said?
was guessing, but no.
He
Before
has to be.
I
He has
guessed,
to be.
I was like, he has to be like 400 pounds,
Has
7
to be.
foot, and
Yeah,
if he's
yeah.
7'2", and he
All
said
that muscle, holy
it has to be
Yeah,
shit!
he's got
close
so
to
much
like
muscle.
400, dude.
I'd love to see him fight The Rock. Oh my god.
That's what's not a fight, dude. That's like when you're 7'2", that's like the thing when you hold a kid back with your arm and they're swinging and reaching for you. He could do that to The Rock. He's 7'2".
Yeah, Liam saying that he'd love to see him fight Thor. You know, the bodybuilder
Yeah.
Thor, the mountain.
Yeah.
That'd be
the-
crazy.
Oh my
The
God.
mountain, yeah. There's a dude in my
But
gym.
I-
There's a dude in my gym who looks exactly like the mountain. He's a bit chubby now, but he's like
But
a
Mountain
giant
looks
walking
like-
around. I'm just like, holy shit.
That dude looks like athletic and agile. The Mountain looks like kind of like even in his fight
Oh no,
scenes.
Mountain now
I
is.
don't know.
Have you seen Mountain lately?
No.
Oh, dude, bro.
I know he does like heavy
go onto his
advanced competition.
go onto his
so I know
Instagram
that-
now. He's got a 6-pack now. He's fucking jacked. It's terrifying. He's fucking jacked to the moon right now.
Mountain.
These guys eat an entire cow a day.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I-
bro, crazy.
I do remember bodybuilder. Like I was in an IHOP once, and I do remember bodybuilders coming in, and they'd all order like all you can eat
Oh, yeah,
pancakes
yeah.
and like
scoff it,
baby.
scoff
And
it.
just-
So much energy. It's insane, dude.
it's so nuts.
Powerlifting
I wanna
is
be a bodybuilder.
nuts, dude. It's nuts.
Okay,
absolutely
does the Mountain stream or something? Because I'm seeing a picture of him wearing a Steel Series gaming.
Yeah, he's a big
You're
gamer.
eating a chair.
He's a big gamer. I don't know if he actually streams, but he is big into gaming. I know that for sure.
That's funny.
No, dude's got a 6-pack now. Like he's fucking.
Imagine talking
jacked.
shit. Imagine playing COD, talking shit, and that guy's on the other end of the mic. Like,
Henry Cavill's on the other side.
Oh my
Dude,
god! I'm
Benedict
sorry.
Cumberbatch.
I'm actually excited for The Rock to be like deep into DC because I genuinely think he's gonna have the power to bring
I'm
Henry
sad.
Cavill back. Just because
I'm
happy
he,
that
wants,
he's
he
back
wants
at
to
him.
he wants to fight him so much, he's gonna bring him back. I guarantee it.
I feel like we're like playing almost like an all-stars team, and I just want to stack the MCU team at this point. Like, DC, your team's already fucking lost. Can we just steal all your best players and put them
Did
on our
you-
good team?
Did you see that post
I know,
that,
but I want that
Snyder,
competition.
Snyder put up on Twitter? He put up a picture of the Loki timeline branch, and he's like, "If you look very closely here, you can see the Snyderverse." I love that he's poking fun at that. Like, it's fucking great, dude. It's great.
Like one of the things I really want to see from DC is that they start to actually expand and grow properly, so that we can actually reach to. I would say like this would be a really big curveball to have Amalgam Comics, and just have like meshes of DC and Marvel characters into one superhero and one supervillain, like stuff like that. Like I would love to see that kind of like competition to the point where like, you know what? Let's try Amalgam Comics now. We're getting the hang of things.
Yeah,
It's so,
that'd be a
like-
crazy world.
What I think DC does better than Marvel, like what Marvel's about to do is the what if. I think DC's versions of the what if, like their alternate they have these
So good.
certain timelines that are just like where they just murder it. They have so
Yeah.
many good crazy timelines. Like I want to see some of these Batman stories, some of
Yeah,
these
so good.
Green Lantern. Like I've said this multiple times on this podcast. I'd love to see the Darkest Night done properly, which tells the story of not just the Green Lantern, but all the lanterns. The lanterns are a spectrum of emotions, and there's like a ring for every color. And then the Darkest Night is where like these God lanterns. It's just so cool.
Yeah,
they
bro.
they could do
DC
10 years of that.
DC kill the comics. I probably own. I'd say I own about 3,000 comic books, and I'd say 100 of them are Marvel. Like, you know, it's DC for me all the way. I love DC comics so much, and the animations are through the fucking roof. Like, I have high hopes for this Flash movie because I think they're doing Flashpoint, and I think if they can do it right, it's a real good restart button. It's a real good like stepping point to go somewhere cool with it, and because they have kind of free reign to do whatever they want. They can kind of start retconning stuff and bring in new Supermans and all this shit if they want to do that. But it's a really good stepping stone, and just even if you like can read a comic book, if you can buy this book, like buy Flashpoint and read it, even if you want to download and watch the fucking animated movie, the animated movie is incredible. But like that's just DC at its highlight, like where you see Thomas Wayne as Batman and stuff. It's fucking nuts, so good. And that
And
went
so
on
have
for
you-
years in the comics as well. Like they did like every hero got a Flashpoint, so there was like a Wonder Woman Flashpoint and Batman Flashpoints and all this mad shit. They went deep with it in the comic books outside of that movie, like deep. What were you gonna say, Alex? Sorry.
I was gonna say I just wanted to jump back into Amalgam Comics really quick. Have
Go
you
for it.
seen any of the comic covers?
No.
I
don't
just
think so.
posted them in chats. I also posted a Marvel versus DC comic.
I would love Justice League versus the Avengers or
Marvel
something like that.
versus-
Would be crazy. I would
Marvel
love that.
versus DC would be cool.
Just
I-
look at Super Soldier. That looks so fucking cool.
Hang
You
on.
point air out.
I got it here.
It's Captain America with the Superman logo as a shield.
Oh my god, is that like Batman, but it's like Wolverine and shit?
Yeah,
And that's like Wonder Woman Storm? That shit's crazy, dude. I love it. Yeah, that shit's kind of crazy.
That's
Yeah,
pretty cool. How many
That
did they
cover's so
do? How many,
90s, bro.
how many did they do?
I can't remember. I think there's an entire.
Were they
list
all
of-
like one-offs, or did they continue a story with them?
I think they were one-offs for a while.
They usually do, see the way it's like number 3, they usually do these like, they still, like DC still do this mad shit today where it's, they'll do like six-part miniseries of like just a random Batman story. Like I got an email
Dude.
today about one where it's like Batman going through Europe, like, and it's like just for six.
Yeah,
six
they
or
let
6
so
weeks, like,
many people get a hand at Batman. It's crazy, and like there's like certain people that have like their favorite Batman comic writer. Like,
Yeah.
there's certain some of these Batman stories get so fucking dark, dude. Like, so dark. Like DC is like the rated R of comics. Like,
I signed up.
holy.
I signed up for all, like I said to my comic book shop, I said, just give me all the Batman titles that come out. And I had to actually tell them to stop because I was like, there's too many. I can't read them all. Like, it's just, it's insane. I was getting them and they were piling up and I was like,
I regret this.
issue 5 of a series out of 12. And it's like, I haven't even started it yet because I'm trying to read the main Batman story and then dip into everything else that I'm trying to read as well. Like, it's just, it got too much. There's like every fucking week there's a new Batman story. It's insane, and none of them have anything to do with the main timeline as well. It's just all over the place, like crazy.
What's
Crazy, dude.
It's nuts. Like,
And I think-
it's nuts.
That's one thing I like about DC is the fact that they put out like all of their dark stuff,
Yeah.
and it's out there. It's visually out there. You remember it. You can see it.
Yeah,
Whereas like with Marvel comics, there is a ton of dark stuff, but they shy away from it, like
Yeah.
to expose it. You know what I mean? Like if you look into the Ultimate Universe, like into Ultimate Comics, it's fucking horrifying. It's crazy and it's weird. It's really weird. A lot of it has to do with cannibalism.
wow,
Like it's crazy. Like Hulk eats people in the Ultimate Comics.
nice.
I feel like Hulk should have been eating people from the beginning, honestly. What more fear could you put in somebody than biting a dude's arm off in front of him? Like, you're about to fight me and you just chunk their arm off and chew it up in front of them. Like, now what?
I like it.
He could do or he could do Quan Chi style where he like rips off his leg and just beats him with it.
I always love that. Like, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
I love it, dude. Yeah, Disney. Like, I think Marvel. Like, it's partly the reason why I don't read a lot of Marvel comics. I find like that they're kind of a little more childish, and like the DC stuff is definitely more kind of for adults, like for sure. Especially all this Black Label DC stuff that they're bringing out now is just dark as fuck. Like
What?
this Constantine stuff that I'm reading, it's just crazy.
Why do we cheer on Batman? He's a rich guy that dresses up at night and goes and beats up the mentally ill. Like, I don't get why he's a hero. He literally goes to asylums and beats up the mentally ill. I mean, come on, Batman.
I mean, why do we cheer on Iron Man? He's he's a billionaire genius with a suit of iron that goes during the day and beats up mentally ill people.
Yeah. Liam in the chat. Liam in the chat
it's a
here.
give and
Didn't-
take.
Didn't Thanos make Hulk eat all the Avengers? I have no idea.
Yeah, it's some weird shit.
He makes him eat the Avengers.
He
They do
like
it
yeah,
in the
Hulk
Human
Hulk is
Centipede
terrifying.
Avengers.
Hell yeah, dude. It's crazy. So what are we doing next week?
We
let's
do
decide.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3. And
Yeah,
then
Iron Man
just-
3 is good.
and
There's
then
gonna
the
be a
rest of the
trailer or
nerdy
something that
news.
drops next week, bro. We're gonna see something.
There has to be.
I think, yeah, we're going to get some nerdy news next week for sure. I think it'll be a big week for nerdy news.
Yeah.
You think we'll get another a trailer too for What If?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I just hope for the day that Fento explodes my phone with Spider-Man.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Spider-Man trailer.
I was really hoping that the rumors that the trailer had been leaked out or given out to the movie theaters and it was to be shown before Black Widow. I was just
Oh my
praying,
God.
praying for
Dude,
that to
you
be
would've
true.
cried.
Because I was like 2 days ahead of like all of you guys, and I would have just been like, I saw it. I would have been going
You
would've
crazy.
cried, dude.
I would have
Instead
recorded.
of, like the actual post-credit scene for Loki would have just been the Spider-Man trailer.
I would have loved that, dude.
Oh,
That would've
man,
been
that would've been
so
great.
fucking good. Or imagine like,
I
just
did
after
think they
everything that
kinda
happens, we just see Toby, like the mask come off. You think it's fucking Andrew, or you think it's Tom Holland, but it's like Toby or something.
Oh, a little thing. I don't know if you guys noticed. I saw this thing. You know how at the end of every Loki episode, it was like looking through files and you'd see a
Yeah.
hand?
Yeah.
Apparently, they're saying that hand was Immortus' hand the whole time.
Yeah, that
Oh,
makes
wow.
sense because he knew it. He
mean,
knew,
that
he
would
knew
be-
everything.
Yeah. So that's him at the end of like the episodes, pretty much seeing what's about to happen next week. And
So did Sylvie put the stamp on it? Oh, we're doing a second season.
Yeah.
and that was in his blood too.
Rewatch WandaVision. Coffee Monk says I'm not ready to rewatch that show. To be
Yeah.
honest. I
I'm not ready to get bonered again. Sorry.
No, I'm not either. I need something to happen with the boner to justify what we'd seen. Like, if he pops up somewhere else, then I'll kind of be happy and I'll be like, okay, I can go back and watch it now.
Yeah, we need a good boner.
Yeah.
Tired of all this bad boner.
To be honest, I liked the Immortus thing. I thought that I think there'll be rewatch value now when you go back and watch the show because you kind of know what's going on,
Yeah.
You knocked out 3 boners last night, Coffee Monk. Whoa.
Nice.
Nice. One thing that I really like, and this is like as we're going further and getting into Kang the Conqueror, and we're eventually going to reach into Iron Lad. I really like. I already joked to it about with Kyle. I said I really don't want it to end with like Kang being like I am inevitable and being like, and I am Iron Lad.
Yeah.
It's like, really, don't do that again, please.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
No, I don't.
Because
want to
it's
do that either.
yeah, it'd be a huge letdown. I want to see like some really crazy shit going on because they're really trying to push for it, and I'm really excited about that. And one of the things that I'm also excited about is after they do this whole time spiel, I really think they're going to go back into looking into more cosmic beings as soon as they're done with this, because now we're just in the time interface. We did cosmic before with the Infinity Stones. We're doing time here. Now we can go back to cosmic afterwards.
What do they do after Kang? Is what I want to know, because like if you're bringing in someone like Kang who can kill
Doctor Doom would be fantastic. Yeah,
well, I think
I've heard Doctor Doom is the biggest slept on one, and
He is.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking because if
think
you're
he's-
bringing in a character that can kill or has killed Thanos, has killed Galactus, like it's like what do you do next? Like
Yeah.
I thought Kang would have been brought
that
in
by
later.
using Doctor Doom's text, right? Like Immortus is Kang is only good because of Doctor Doom.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Doctor Doom's tech, the time travel tech,
Yeah.
right? And Kang is apparently a descendant of Reed Richards, so
yeah, it's like a variant of him,
baby.
apparently.
Which is why Iron Lad starts, because it's an alternate universe where Richards doesn't get bullied by these kids and actually gets pulled by Kang the Conqueror, and Kang is like, you're going to be me in the future. And Nathaniel Richards is like, I don't want to be that. What the fuck? And then he decides to like use, I think, Stark Tech, and with the power, I think with the power of his mind or something like that, to use like all that Iron Man stuff.
Yeah,
And that's why he calls himself Iron Lad as an homage.
yeah, and like I don't think Kang is gonna be Thanos. Like I know he is these people in the comic book, but we're dealing with the MCU lore and what we got here, and I see Kang being more of like a Ultron level character, where it's like he's gonna be strong, but he's gonna be kind of mid tier compared to who they bring after him.
You think they're gonna redo Galactus?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think they're gonna do Galactus
Yes.
for sure.
Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
I think Apocalypse could be a cool one after the kind of intro to the mutants and stuff. You then do like a back in time one where you.
Oh, we've
see the-
already
Just, like,
done
redo-
Apocalypse. I don't want to redo Apocalypse.
I'd like to see it done right.
I would do redo Apocalypse.
Do it
I
right,
can
yeah.
redo it all, baby.
Yeah.
I want a redo of Magneto, or no, not a redo, but like I want a continuation of Michael Fassbender's Magneto.
That would be
Yeah.
fantastic. I love Fassbender so much. He's so good.
And
So good.
yeah, and yeah, so like if Doom's the next big bad after Kang, that would be fantastic. They also have the Cosmic Cube. If they're gonna have the multiverse, if they wanted to, I know this would be kind of upsetting, but like they could do Thanos like coming back and be like, I got the cosmic cube, guys. You guys are fucked.
I wish they did Thanos the right way with death, or like Thanos has like some of my favorite alternate stories for like what if stories where like there's versions of Thanos that like are just more powerful than anything, that have literally, it shows in the comic his suit, inside of his suit, instead of like it being like graphics, it's like transparent and the entire universe is his suit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so nutty.
Do you think we're gonna see him in Eternals? I think so. In the past, maybe, because isn't he is an Eternal? He's like a mutated. He's a mutated Eternal or whatever.
They're all
He's a
from
deviant.
Titan.
Yeah. So
They're
like,
cousins. Like him and Angelina Jolie's character are actual cousins.
yeah.
Nice.
So I think we definitely see him.
Kentucky cousins. That's cool.
So you could see him definitely like a flashback, probably to like anchor why the Eternals are there or whatever, you know, like who they are.
Yeah.
I also think like, you know, I think like Hulk eventually could become a actual villain in this later on, because they're doing stuff with Blade.
Yeah.
And like the Illuminati, if they pull all that together, do like an Illuminati series, like we get Hulk as an actual true villain would be cool.
Oh, bro.
Yes,
like, it's
I am
insane.
totally down for that.
It's insane to think like how big the universe is after getting. Like, there's so much coming. It's fucking crazy.
Dude, they're going to be doing MCU when we're gone. They're still going to be working on Phase 8.
Yeah, seriously, like, you know, I can easily picture myself being 50 still going to the cinema to watch this shit. Like, seriously. Easy.
Back in my days,
Marvelous Chats, everybody.
Guys, yeah,
Stan Lee used to make cameos back in my day.
you won't believe it, guys. I've seen every single Marvel movie all the way back to 2008, all in the cinema. Yeah, we're on
Back
the
in
fucking
the roaring 20s when
Marvelous
Phase
Chaps
4
episode 1000. Like,
You guys think about this right now. We're in the 20s right now. Think about the 20s of the 1920s. Think about how crazy that is. We're in the 20s for people.
yeah.
80,
Yeah.
80 years from now. It's gonna be, and they're gonna be like, man, they watched Marvel.
Yeah.
Back in my day, Thanos was ruler.
That's all real now. Like, we have fucking superheroes now. Imagine. It's like they used to just watch them in movies.
Remember when they thought it was a fantasy and guy just flies away in his Iron Man suit? Pew!
Ah, bro.
It's crazy.
I just, like,
Crazy.
honestly, like, the more I think about what is potentially coming, like, the more it blows my mind. Like, we haven't even spoke about, like, Daredevil and, like, the fact that, like, Jessica Jones is coming back and all that sort of stuff. Then we've got, like, all the Hawkeye stuff, Secret Invasion, Secret Wars. Like, it's just insane. It's absolutely insane, everything that's in the pipeline. It's wild.
Yeah. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait.
Hopefully they pull it off.
My body.
Hopefully the numbers stay good, so they do all this stuff and you know, they don't shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Guys, I think that's kind of a natural ending point.
Marvel.
Thank you so much for being
Talk
here,
about
everybody
Iron
in the
Man
chat.
3 next week.
Yeah, we're gonna watch Iron Man 3. So if anyone in the chat wants to rewatch that movie, just so that it's fresh in everybody's mind and we can kind of talk about it and break it down and theorize and all that sort of shit. And
Also, everybody should keep their eyes out for any Marvel news that we might miss, because that's always
Yeah.
cool when people are like, "Hey, did you catch this article? Did you catch that?" Like,
big time.
Yeah.
that's like
when
one of
I-
my favorite parts of the show is when someone's like, "Yeah, did you hear about this that just happened?" And I'm like, "No, I did not. Let me hear about it."
There's so much fucking news all the time. Like, it's crazy. Like, I genuinely keep notes on my phone. But yeah, like, guys, if you're not already, like, follow the Discord. We have a Marvelous Chats thing. Throw fucking shit in there. I read everything. Like, you know,
Marvelous Chat's Twitter too now.
yes, we got we got a Twitter. We got a Twitter. It's the podcast is going places, guys. I feel it. It's gonna be great.
Oh, yeah. I'm loving it.
It's gonna be great. 100%. Woo! Guys, thank you
Hey,
so
you
much.
guys have a wonderful night.
Yep.
GG's.
GG's, guys.
Later,
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye bye.